so we should be live at any moment. As always, it's that awkward, like, you never know how long the lag is between, like, hitting live and it going. And then, like, the first 30 seconds of stream is like, are we live? Are we not? Like, I don't see us live on the channel. And I still don't see us live on our channel, but there we is it? Is it not? Like, one second. Like, it blipped live.
It's
It
probably live,
says, yeah,
Casey.
yeah, I know. Alright, there we go. Cool. Hello, hello. Welcome to another week of Doctors and Dungeon Masters. I am Casey James, PhD candidate at UWM, and I am the Dungeon Master.
Hello, hello, hello. I am Leia Liebzeller, PhD candidate anthropology. I play Ash, the Bard Fighter.
And I'm Eric Kirsting. I'm a PhD candidate at UW-Milwaukee, and I play Nor. Does magic sometimes.
Solid. And before we do recap, I would like to do the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that in Milwaukee we live and work on traditional Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, and Menominee homelands along the southwest shores of Michigami, part of North America's largest system of freshwater lakes, where the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Kinnickinnic rivers meet, and the people of Wisconsin's sovereign Anishinaabe, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Oneida, and Mohican nations remain present. And with that, the fuck happened last week?
I will still be able to hear you guys, but I really need to go grab a jacket.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'll-
So we could have
but-
a.
All right, so we started the session, and we were hanging out in the city, and we were having fun in the city, doing the city things. So, that includes going out to lunch with rich folks or poor folks, depending on if you are a rich folk or a poor folk. We talked with people. That was almost everything. We met. My character met up with a big bad evil detective.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for that to like develop. Like I know it was like small, but sorry to interrupt, but like those are the moments that I wish that like could be like translated into like a live action or like a animated scene because like just the sort of aesthetic that I imagined was super cool.
I think as a DM, I aim for every scene to be like that. Like I imagine it like in my head as like a movie scene, and I try to set it up that way. I feel like I kind of have a more like I would say like television or filmic approach to D&D as opposed to like a video gaming one. And I'm not saying those are bad or wrong to do it another way. I'm just saying that's my kind of the way I envision it when I'm planning as a DM. But anyways, so then Ash, I think Ash should describe this next part. Then we teleported to a place, and then tomorrow we're gonna teleport somewhere else.
First you traumatize people, and then you teleport.
Oh yeah. We did a heist. All right, except for it was like Inception, except for if Inception was about taking a otherwise nice person who had terrible things happen to them and forcing them to dream about it. That was what we did.
We did do that. Yes, we found out some shit last week. Because so for those of you who are kind of keeping up with the Arya story, Arya spit on a guard, and the guard got real mad. And the guard was like, "I'm gonna kill you," and put Arya into prison. We broke Arya out of prison while we were actually helping some other dude, and then kind of like adopted her because she couldn't leave kind of like underground spaces while the guard was alive. So we murked the guard, and then we were gonna like give her back to her parents. But Ash was like, I don't know, we gotta make sure this dude's cool and not insane, because like we found out some weird stuff. Find out that like he's not really who he says he is. So Ash is like, gotta find this out. Gotta like so basically his family, well, his house got burnt down. We knew that. We knew his old name. So we went to the market and did a major image spell, I think.
I think think was it a
think it's just
major?
minor.
I don't think it was
Um,
minor.
Like,
I
you
think it
didn't
was
have to.
major.
I was just say, oh, you didn't have to do much to wreck this guy's life.
I made him smell
We made his
smoke,
life better. We
made
we
him
brought his
smell
daughter
smoke,
back.
and then whispered his dead name to him to see what his reaction would be, to see if we got the information right. We were right. He like freaks out and starts running. We don't know where he's going, so we chase after him. Like, make him stop because our changeling here is in Arya's form, and then there's a whole like thing, and Ash finds out it was fucking his mom. That like fucking burnt down his house, and then he felt like a dick. So Arya gets home, Ash like has dinner with the fam, it's all nice and cool, and then uh what's his name? I feel like a dick that I don't.
Alyosha.
Alyosha, the man that we were chasing, Arya's dad, like gives Ash a key and a fucking letter and says, "Go to this place." So Ash goes to this place. Turns out Alyosha's his dad, and he's like loving and like a good person. And Ash does not know what to do with this. This is information that he does not know how to process. And now,
Fortunately, we're not going back home.
Yep.
fortunately, we're gonna go on a different trip so Ash can
Yeah.
avoid his problems for a little while. Hashtag processing time.
Yep.
So
I guess Nor can pick this one back up. So where are we at right now, and where are we?
yeah,
where
where
are
we
we heading?
headed? Where are we going?
So I don't know if we've rested yet, but where we're at this like mansion or summer home or whatever out in the middle of nowhere with had cherry blossom trees or I don't know. But
it's
you know,
beautiful.
yeah, it's beautiful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we are there, and we teleported here, and I have only 1/7 level spell slot, so we will tomorrow teleport to Valacia, which is where my character used to live when they were an exile from their home before they returned back to Taizhou. And we are going to attempt to meet a wizard who because she knew about a wizard tower, and she just sent a letter to that wizarding tower and said, "Send me a message, let's hang out." And that wizard was like, "Yo, bring something cool and we'll hang out." And so we're bringing some cool, and we're
And
gonna
that's
go
why
hang
Ash is
out.
coming along, bringing something cool.
Ash is
I
cool,
love
it's
it.
true. Though I think that
The scroll of tidal wave is a little cooler.
I think that scroll title is more what they meant by cool. That's all.
I mean, Ash does have a sentient sword, so that's cool as well.
Yeah, no, you're not getting the sentient. This sword chose me.
Yup.
It's. I need to talk to that sword more.
You do, but it's okay. You actually don't know the wizard's name at this point. He or she did not, or they did not impart that information to you in the sending.
What did their voice sound like? Because I have talked to them, right?
What does their mind voice sound like? Yeah, because it's only mind voice, right? It's not real voice.
So, I will say I don't want to metagame because I have certain voices that I default to depending on like archetypes and kind of races. So I'm just going to say it sounded kind of short, to the point, no nonsense, toughish, like.
Oh, it's a dwarf.
Or.
Never mind. Call it off.
No.
I mean, that's something to talk about at some point, though.
Yeah.
Is like, does your mind voice match
Actually,
your actual voice?
Can you
And
write
how
that
does
down?
that work?
Because there's something interesting that I do want to talk about that. That's related, but not exactly that, and I think that'll be fun to discuss in the last half hour.
I will pretend that I will remember, even if I write it down.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If
there's anyone in chat.
I'll just note that in that when I DM message, you have to say it out loud. Or sending, you have to. The player, like it's said aloud.
Oh, is it?
Sending's not.
when I DM it,
Yeah.
I said. So
Yeah.
like I'm not saying
Oh.
it's that way on every table, but at my table, that's the way it is.
I,
Um,
and sorry, one last thing. You got the sense that they're not. It's not like they're not friendly, but they're not someone who's very patient. It seems, or maybe they're
what
just
wizard
distracted.
is?
Exactly. Um, is there anything you would want to do before you head out? You know that the town is Evergreen Valacia, which is on the eastern border, sort of in between. It's like not on the border of Valacia and Gio, but it's one of the cities that are kind of like close to the border.
That's where we are now? You're saying?
That's where you're going to be going.
Oh, that's where we're gonna be going. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything? So is there anything I want to bring there? Sorry. Repeat the question. I got
Oh
a
no, is
little
there anything you wanted to
frazzled.
do before or talk about before you teleported?
All right, so I'm assuming that this will not be an adventuring day, so I need to just prep my spells. Quick. Shoot, there was something I was gonna say about something we were just talking about that I thought was really interesting, and now I'm like, what was that?
Voices for different races.
No, that I'll talk about at the end of this
Mm.
other thing. Okay. Let's see. All right. Do I have a reason to have mage armor and shield prepared today? Probably. Let's see. Oh wow, yeah, I have a pretty combat heavy day here. Okay, so we're gonna want a suggestion. Sorry, I don't know. You could talk, Ash. Is there anything you're doing? You like find a trap door or something in this summer home or something?
You can talk to the sword now.
Yeah, Ashes is very much like introspective at this point. Like, unless we need to like figure out what the fuck is around this place and like go to town and like buy some stuff or something, he's just very much like his whole world has changed.
Mm.
Uh, so he is like, I don't know. Ash gets quiet when his whole world changes. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that you and Giles have a what's it called? A sort of not like that you can know exactly each other's emotions, but like you could kind of get a better read on one another.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're like deep mind linked,
Yeah,
right? Like when you attune to an item, like
yeah,
you're attuned to an item, and when that item is then fucking sentient,
yeah,
like, that attunement, I feel that's a pretty like intimate
yeah.
relationship, actually, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He'll go. Oh, sounds like something big happened. Everything okay up there?
yeah, everything's great, which is the problem.
Oh, well, I mean, things have been good for you lately. You seem to have a lovely home and a nice family.
What is that face, Eric?
What?
I remembered what I wanted to say.
Go for it. Do it. Do it.
It was stupid. Okay.
What?
But it's that wizards don't have patience because they have to use like patience is a finite resource and they use it all up transcribing their spells because that
Yeah.
stuff takes forever and like in game time. Like it's like, oh, you want to transcribe a 7th level spell? That'll be 14 hours of your life. So you lose all your patience because you're too busy, in your book. Anyways, sorry. Keep having your roleplay conversation.
As someone who like fabricates all his shit, he doesn't have any patience for Wizard's lack of patience because he knows what fucking like 14 hours to make an Inquisition ID look official, okay? Like, gotta be making them papers for Joe that have to be like spot fucking on, like.
I like how ahead of ourselves we're getting with this guy.
But yeah, things have been good. Probably means something bad's gonna happen.
Well, that's life, isn't it? typically evens itself out over the course of a lifetime, but if you're
No, likely not.
well, I have lived longer than you. And you can tell he's being a little cheeky there.
Yeah, most of it in a cave with no other people around.
Yes, so it's a lot of neutral. And if you've had a lot of bad so far, that means there's a lot of good coming at you.
Don't trust it. Now there are just more people to die.
Christ.
What? Deep drama.
And
So
he'll just
much
respond right.
deep
He'll just
drama.
respond very sarcastically. Oh yes, of course, you're right. You're always right. These worries are
Obviously.
substantiated and accurate. So do tell me more.
Go fuck yourself. Oh, sorry. Whoops.
It's all good. And he definitely, he's not brushing you off. This is just kind of his way of going, like, I understand that I'm not going to get anywhere, but I'm also not going to let you just have the last word.
It's fine.
Or have the last word easily. Alright. Anything else before we pop over to Evergreen?
I can't think of anything.
Alright. So you teleport. That little sound is the sound of teleporting.
Oh, okay. Well,
but-
all right.
You know what?
I
Actually,
cast teleport, KZ. Now I
think-
clicked it on D&D Beyond. It just was weird for you to tell me what my character was doing, even though we both knew that that was the next thing that was gonna happen.
I think that impatient people become wizards because they want to learn how to make things go faster, and so actually they're just impatient to start with.
Yeah. Agree.
Maybe. I don't know. Is more impatient?
Nah.
No.
But she wasn't like she's an aberration to wizards.
Would you say that I am? So do I have an associated object with this place?
I don't think so. I think that I don't think this is somewhere that you've ever been because it really is like far northeast. And I imagined you being like in the capital. So there's
my thing is I just have a description of the place then. If I'm looking at the familiarity, it's very familiar, seen casually, viewed once, description.
I would give you viewed once, in the sense that you have a map.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so I get Ash together and I say, "You lock up the joint."
Ash is never together. That is purely
All right,
illusion.
all right. I meant like get us together. I assume we lock up the place.
It's just a really great image for Nora to be like, and we're just putting all the clay back on before we get out of here.
Viewed once is a place you've seen once, possibly using magic. So Anyways, anyways, so I have to roll a D100 to get there. But so I like to flavor it because teleport is only a verbal component. So I just like to imagine you just say the name of the place. So what's the name of this town?
Evergreen.
I just say Evergreen, and
Diagon Alley.
we are not going to get. We're not there. So I rolled a 29,
Oh my
which
god.
on seen casually or viewed once is a mishap, which is actually perhaps better than similar area because mishap means we re-roll. So we're gonna take some damage. So something you
Sorry,
the last thing you hear
as
as I
wrestling in the other room.
so Ash, right as I say Evergreen, you see a sudden like I start doing the calculations in my head and I'm just like, oops, and we just like it's just like, and we take 3d10 damage, which I'll roll. So we take it's a 6, 5, and 8, so it's 11 plus 8. That's a 19. So we just take 19 damage each. 1 sec. Let me go ahead and add that to my thing. That's a lot of damage. So bam, boom, 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 boom. And we're just we're getting beat up. And now I will re-roll because that's what happens. You re-roll on a mishap, right? It says the GM re-rolls on the table, but do you want me to just re-roll? That's kind of lame.
Yeah, I like the players re-rolling.
All right, that's nice. 69. So that is on target. Or no, that's not on target. It's off target. But it would be off target on description or viewed once, so it's not a big deal there. But off target means we end up one distance off from the target is 1d10 times 1d10% of the distance that was to be traveled. Okay, random distance away from the 1d10 times 1d10% of the distance that was to be traveled. For example, if you try to travel 120 miles, landed off target, and then roll a 5 and 3 on the 2d10s, that you'd be off by 15% or 18 miles. The DM determines the direction off by rolling a d8 and then north, south, east, west, and so on. So it is if we could end up in the middle of the ocean here.
I know.
So I have to roll 2d10.
If Ash ends up in the middle of the ocean, he's gonna be like Sea Sword. I fucking told you so.
So I have to roll 2d10, and I have to. We have to multiply. So we multiply them together.
It's gonna be 10.
I'm rolling them now.
10.
That was an 8 and a 5, so we are 40% off, which is a pretty big. That's a pretty big amount to be off.
Oh my god.
Didn't prep adventuring shit today either.
So distance. All right. This was not very good odds. We really needed that associated object. Like if you are at viewed once or description, your chance of being on target is actually a lot lower than I realized. It's like you have a 25% chance of being on target. I thought it would be higher than that. There's actually not a difference between. I just realized this. There's not a difference between viewed once and description, at all. It's like literally, there's not a difference in the percent chances.
That is amazing. Just keep making those dice rolls. So
that's a 40. We're 40% off, which means we're 60% of the way there.
I gotta pull up the fucking map now.
Okay,
what?
So okay,
because it's still like
I know that's the thing I'm waiting for.
40 miles.
So yeah,
I mean, no, like that's like from where you're at to like it's like 6 weeks of like overland travel that we're talking about. So like
yeah, good thing I prepped sending today.
Ash can't be gone for that long.
We're not. I have teleport. I can always get us back home tomorrow. Anyways.
Do you have teleportation circle prepared?
No, I do not.
Because that would have been a way you could get back today, but.
So okay. So here's what it says. So we're 40% off the destination, and it's in a random direction from the destination. So the question is, how many miles away were we? And then you take 40%, so that many miles, and then you roll a d8, and we end up in a cardinal direction in that way.
I want to do this math now. So, let's see. How many miles can you walk in 8
It literally says here, if you were teleporting to a coastal city and wound up 18 miles out to sea, you could be in trouble. It literally says that in the spell.
One day is about 30 to 40 miles, depending on how.
We're gonna say 35 times 7 times 6. And that is, we'll just round it up, 1,500 miles.
So 40% of 1,500.
Oh my god.
Means that we
are 600 miles, Eric.
We are. Okay, wait. So wait, it was 40% of what? Sorry.
1,500. Like between Wisconsin and New York is 1,000
400 plus 250. It's like.
Oh no, isn't it? No, isn't it? No, it's 400. Yeah, no, sorry, the round trip is. Sorry.
Okay, so this is You were 600 miles off. So
Yeah.
roll a d8.
You do
Yeah.
that. I don't want to do that roll.
It says,
I'll do it. Wait, do you want me to
it's-
do it?
No,
I
no.
can do
It
it.
says the
Oh.
DM rolls it. If it's not the DM, I want to roll it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I want
Roll
you. I want you to
It's
keep
my
rolling
dumb
that.
spell. Okay. So what would be bad? I'm just curious. I
Is
promise
it
to
like
honor
one-
that.
So one is north.
One is north, and then northeast is 2, and then so on and so forth to 8,
Okay.
which would be northwest.
So you don't want, like, even north is tricky, but I'm going to give you land at least. But if you have literally 2 through, so you got 2, 3, 4.
So anywhere to
Yeah.
the east.
Yeah.
Anywhere to the east is bad. Okay.
Yeah, so 2,
here we
3, and
go.
4.
Oh no! Oh no!
Don't worry, it's gonna be okay.
Oh, no!
So that's
A 1.
no 1 northeast, 2 northeast, 3 east, 4 southeast. That's it. It was a 4 southeast.
Oh, no. On the bright side, it's really warm water as opposed to literal Arctic water.
Ugh, it's so bad.
I
Don't
am
worry. It's gonna be okay.
amazed.
It's gonna be a bumpy day, but it's gonna be okay. So what you need to tell us what happens now, DM.
Yeah, so
Remember that the last thing that Ash hears is me just go, oops.
yeah.
And then he
So-
takes 19 damage and falls into
No,
the
no, I
fucking
know.
ocean.
I know. So
Eric, I
here's-
am not mad. This is actually very funny. But
This
Ash
is
is
Oh, I know, I know.
hysterical.
I know. This is D&D, baby.
Yep. Yeah, so you prep teleportation and you say evergreen. But rather than evergreen, you
You
get
say
a lot of
Everblue.
everblue. And Ash, you hear evergreen, and then you start feeling yourself like getting yoinked into the air, followed by a oops. Brrr, you're just kind of jumbled around like fucking dice
I have
in
a
a
very
tin.
serious question right now. I have a very
Yeah?
serious question for you, Kelly. If I hear him say "oops," can I cast counterspell?
No, I would
It's
say that
It's
that was
already-
that was
yeah.
as it was happening. I would
Yeah.
say at that point, right?
Okay, I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Just
The spell was
in
already in
case.
effect.
Yeah.
Just in case.
We're gonna. I think we might get there today.
At the end of it all, you feel yourself get yeeted out into the ocean with a heavy splash. And as if it wasn't bad enough, you take an additional two bludgeoning damage from just belly flopping into the warm waves.
Oh, as we like appear over it, and we just look down, and we're just like, oh no.
Now,
Splash.
Here's
Okay.
something, but as you so the waves
How
are
much damage?
warm, just 2
Sorry.
bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Leia, roll me a d12. The face. Because you know what this is for.
$11.
It is a gorgeous day out. There's
Thank fucking
maybe
Christ.
like
We're not in
2
the perfect
clouds
storm.
in the sky. The water is very deep. You cannot see any land, as far as you can perceive. And you hear Giles in your head. I don't think that was supposed to happen.
Does a raft count as a mundane item?
Doesn't it have to like feasibly be able to be pulled out of your thing?
An emergency raft, a smaller one.
Those don't
Can it-
exist in
They
this.
do so.
Like
Oh
a-
well, that's fair.
Like they exist now.
So as we're like swimming and trying to catch our breath, I don't know how exactly where we do I know how much of a mishap it was?
No, Ash
Like,
is just
how
like
much off
on his
target we
back,
are?
floating, shaking his head at you as you like dog paddle around.
I don't think that you would know. I think that you could gain your bearings by like okay, we're like you would safely imagine that you are probably further east than you need to be.
We need to go west.
Um,
That's what I would think. We need to go west.
Exactly. And you would be
May-
able to see by the
Would I
sun.
want? Would I also know that we'd want to go north?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, because actually the position of the sun could help me understand where I am relative to the actual
so
everything.
that's what I'm.
That would
like,
be
an
an intelligence check, right?
Well, I'm giving perception based on the water. You could do an intelligence check based on the sun.
Yeah. Investigation.
Yes, but just do the. I just want the perception first.
All right. Perception is a 10.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't really kind of register anything you could gain from the water, but now you could do investigation.
13.
It'll
That was
take
a
you some
real
time.
bad roll.
So
I really couldn't.
I'm going to say you wouldn't know right away. Probably
One
about
sec, Ash.
after.
I need to figure out the position of the sun relative to the map, but I can't look at the map because it's in the haversack and not getting wet, and I don't want to get the
So,
map wet.
In the middle
But I have a
of
plan.
this, in the middle of this, Ash is just sending to Tomas. The first part is ah! The second part is teleportation. It's cool till it goes wonk. We're fine, just stuck in the ocean. Maybe see you sometime. Hopefully no sharks. Love you. Okay, bye.
How would Tomas respond to that? Because you did send him something pretty cryptic. Last night. Like, what did you send? What was it that you sent him after?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the recording.
Yeah. He would respond with, well, good thing you know how to swim. Glad I'm home. Love you, bye. Definitely just like totally unhelpful, but also trust that you will make it, and definitely is going to, try and do something at home to make the trip a little bit less shitty.
This is very important, DM. Is my character aware of killer whales, sperm whales, or sharks?
Definitely sharks. I would say yes, whales, but I'm not sure if you would have seen them, is the thing. So you would know that they exist because they are in the north. But because you didn't really go...
What's the biggest fish I've seen?
Probably a shark.
What kind of shark, though?
I've seen a shark. Cool.
There are lots of teeny tiny sharks.
Yes,
and lots of
but
big
I'm
sharks.
going to
So
give
what kind of
you
shark?
a size large shark.
Not the giant shark. Just.
Let me see.
There's a lot of sharks in the thing. There's the hunter shark.
Let's see.
And the giant shark, and then those are two different ones, and then there's the killer whale, and then there's the sperm whale, and there's not a big difference between them in terms of movement.
You're gonna get
speed.
the giant shark.
All right, one sec. Let me see if I can see a better creature, and I'm gonna grab a coin out of my pocket, throw it down into or cast light on it. Throw it down into the below us and just look around, try to see if there's a creature I could polymorph into that's better than a shark.
1 second. Sorry, I was doing math, so you could move 528 feet. Sorry, one more time. What was the tokens?
So I'm grabbing a copper piece out of my thing. I'm casting light on the copper piece, and I'm throwing it into the sea beneath me to see if I can find if there's a big sea creature I could polymorph into.
Okay.
That I see.
I'm gonna roll a D100, because you're in the middle of the ocean, and they don't typically whales don't typically come up.
They're big.
Yeah, but they're like super deep underwater, and
No, not killer whales. They're mammals. They got to come up to breathe.
I know, until they're ready to breathe. So it's
they don't go that deep. I think a killer whale would never go more than 10 feet under the water. That's a joke. Go roll.
I'm going to say only. Or do you want me to roll? Because I would say there's only a 5% chance that you would get something better than a hunter shark. So do you
Well,
want me to roll?
you can roll, and I'll make a perception check.
Okay.
That's an 18.
So that is an 80. So what I will say is you do not see a larger what's it called? A larger fish or animal than the giant shark. But I will give you I'll figure it out later. A beast that you would not have known that will be cool in some way, but I don't know yet because I do not have that prepared.
Okay, Ash. I come up after holding my
It's like
breath
it's a
for
cool
like a
thing.
half minute. So there's something creepy down there. But we don't need to worry about it. Okay. So I've heard rich people go to mountains and they put pieces of wood on their feet and go down the mountain. Can we do that, but on the sea? Can you get skis out of your robe? I don't know how to swim.
We're inventing water skis right now. Is that what we're fucking saying?
Oh my god.
I don't think I can. I mean, do skis count as mundane items? I don't know. Like they would fit in the pocket, but
Like it's something that has to have like the width. Like I could give you something
Right,
that's like
yeah.
longer than it needs to be. I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
you would be able to pull out skis. Sorry, Chloe.
So he thinks for a moment, like lounging. He's just lounging on his back in
But
the
like
ocean,
you're just gonna
like Fred
sink
fucking
on it
Eagle.
a bit. Yeah, you could pull out a lot of
Um,
skis and make a raft out of them. Like that is
No,
something. you
yeah,
could do.
yeah. So I think Leia understands where Eric's brain's at right now. And that is for him to become something giant and for me to ski behind him, which would be hilarious.
I
However,
love it.
Ash does not know that. So he kind of thinks for a minute and is like, yes, why?
It's the only idea I have. Hold on. Let me look at the rest of my
But
spells
like, what are they
before
for?
I commit to this.
Like,
All right.
you'd have to. I don't. Physics would require.
Mhm.
What is your plan? We can't walk on the water. Like I could pull out 2 sets of skis, but we can't walk on the water with them.
And I'm like, you see that like Nora's getting like frustrated. She's like, ah, and she's gonna tap herself and just cast fly, and then like she's like floating above you. I hate swimming. Why do people do this for fun? Water's
they don't-
gross. I pull out the map
Are you
now that I'm
seriously
flying.
fighting with my sock?
I got 10 minutes of flight. I explain my plan. I'm like, I need rope and water skis. I'm gonna turn into a shark, and then I will drag you behind me. And then I'm looking at the map and trying to figure out where we are. But I am flying, above right now. I could also just become a flying creature and just pick you up. What flying creatures am I familiar with?
You have seen a
Giant-
rock.
A rock?
Yeah,
I don't know if
those
that's
are-
actually unfortunately, I don't know if that is it's a monstrosity,
Got it.
not a
Giant.
unless
vulture.
you know a giant vulture. How about a giant eagle?
Yeah.
All right, so giant eagle has a flying speed of 80. Actually, flying eagle's just faster, so it's better to be a flying eagle than it is to be. You'd think a swimming creature would be better here, but I guess not. And as you start playing with the skis, I'm like, just throw them down, let the things eat them. I'm just gonna fly us there. I'll just put you in my talons. I just got to make
So-
sure we're going in the right direction. So now that I have the map and I'm flying, can I try to like reason out the right direction we need to go in?
Yeah. 1 second. So 22 times 6.
She's yelling everything because of the waves, sound of the waves, and she's trying to be, trying not to notice how angry you must be right now.
Yeah. And I would say, sorry, I was just doing math. I did math for the shark, and if you were to do 100 feet, like just kind of hauling ass, you would have like a level of exhaustion easily. But
The bird or the me?
I'll
Or the
give you the
shark
bird.
or the me? Yeah,
I'll give you the bird, or the animal. So when you were doing 100 feet around, it would have taken you 11 hours, to get
to
there.
get there.
If so, now with the bird, it would
It's
be
160.
exactly. So I would just say, for Matt's sake, we'll just say 6 hours to get there.
6 hours is exactly.
How many
Wait.
you can do?
Wait. I need to long rest because I didn't from my last one. Okay, and then I'm gonna recast the spells that I cast, which is just teleport and fly. Teleport and fly. Okay, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exactly hours of
Nice.
slots. So you said 6. So
Yeah.
all right. So I'm gonna do ascending
Mhm.
to the wizard,
Mhm.
and I'm just going to say, in the middle of the ocean. Be there in like 6 hours if my calculations are correct. Don't expect anything from me today. I mean, I'll give you a nice scroll. See you then. I'm out of words, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And you just get back. Yeah, sure, whatever.
All right, and then I will pause for. I'm assuming that Ash is going to be very sore at the end of today,
Just
as
riding the
I'm
eagle.
riding,
So
or I think
here's
Oh,
the
right.
thing. So here's the bit. How long does Liam's tiny hut last?
Oh shit. That's 8
10.
hours.
8 hours, cool. So Ash is just like, hey, want to
It's
stork this?
it's immovable though.
Oh, it's immovable?
Mhm.
Oh. That sucks.
You could pull out a blanket from your thing and just
I
be.
assume it would sink the hut.
Well, so his plan was actually to take the hut, put it upside down, and nail the bottom of the hut to two planks of wood, and just like chill on top of it if like they needed to
Mm.
really.
We'll be okay. We're just gonna do 6 hours straight of flying.
But
I mean,
if you did want to
Ash
stork
can do
it,
this.
you could pull a blanket out and just kind of have the eagle
Nah.
hold. Okay.
Ash doesn't want to end up in the middle of this, so he would trust a magical thing, but he wouldn't. He's not gonna trust like a blanket and eagle's talons is just gonna like shred.
Okay.
So I don't know. Is it big enough to just ride, or do you need me in your talons?
It is a large beast. But I don't have I don't have
Probably.
a saddle.
So
So
do you want your back to be sore or your shoulders to be sore?
well, I was assuming I'd like horizontally pick them up like like a claw in the
Got it.
machine, and then so like Ash would be like lying like.
Yeah. So then, yeah. I'll
Ash
say.
is fine with that. He's gonna probably secure himself to your talons with some rope after you pick him up, though, because.
Good
I
idea.
freaking love this.
I don't know what kind of roll that would be. Would it be
Survival.
Survival. Good. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be an 18
You're fine.
for knotting knots and shit.
All right. So yeah, and that'll be 6 hours straight. I cast polymorph. Watch this. Cast.
No, but you can't cast you can't cast polymorph while polymorphed, can you?
Well,
Yeah,
we
but
just drop down and then
Yeah.
repolymorph and then
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wait, what the heck? That's weird. It's
What?
actually really weird.
What?
This is just a D&D Beyond glitch, but polymorph does not appear for me to cast at a higher level.
Oh.
Which is just weird. Like other stuff,
Yeah.
like Major Image, I can cast, or like Counterspell, I can cast at a higher level. But I guess it's probably to clean up the UI. But I'm just gonna use those 5th level slots and a 6.
Yeah.
So that's 6 hours, and we end up in Evergreen, or at least on the coast.
Yeah, so you you're like flapping your wings, like even though each form is like tiring itself out, like a part of you is just like by the 6th hour, like Jesus fucking Christ, like I am wiped. Not exhausted, but just wiped. And roll me a strength check as the eagle.
Do we see any killer whales on our way?
Jesus Christ.
Strength check. Okay, that'll be a 21. Actually, really good roll.
Yeah.
And
What
plus 3.
don't the killer whales live in like fucking Arctic? Like, are they not like?
I don't know. I'm not the DM.
I'm looking
It's
this
your
up now.
ocean. I'm just playing in it.
Where do killer whales live?
I'm just asking, do we see anything below us? You know, you could say no.
Okay, so they are typically Arctic creatures. They do live in all waters. So I will roll a D100, 6 times. 3. That was 2. 4. 5. Nope. You do not see any killer whales on your trip.
Is there anything like? Do we see like land or ships or?
Yeah, what is this trip like?
6 hours of journey. You know, do we see anything?
At some point, off in the distance, you do see a small landmass that you know is not on any map, in the sense that the maps don't go this far out. So there's that. You don't have enough time to explore it, but at least you have the knowledge that there might be other islands that exist in this world that just have not had the chance to be explored, because who's gonna fucking go 600 miles into the ocean?
Can I map it at the end of the day?
Sure. And while you're there, you don't see any ships for a while. At most, the ships are maybe like 100 miles out, is the furthest out they would go. And so you do see a couple of like merchant ships here and there. And then when you get closer, you do see more like fishing boats and things of that nature. And
Do we see any of the fishing boats when like I'm very much near the end of my polymorph?
you would either have to choose to be able to get there by eagle, or risk a trip on a boat if you would like to stop on a boat.
Oh, okay, yeah. What I was asking is like, let's say like, oh, there's only like 2 minutes left on this.
Right.
Like,
I'll
so
roll
you know,
100.
I can just we can land on the boat to do our refresh instead of the thing, and as well as say hi to these fine people.
I'm going to roll a d100, and it'll be a 10% chance. For
Sailors
each one.
love this kind of thing. You know what I mean? They're
I
like,
know.
oh my god, stories. That's what sailors are all about.
4, 5, 6. You do not, unfortunately. It would be in the middle of one of them.
Ah, too bad.
Yeah, sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. I'm the one who teleported us here. So
yeah.
at least we started early in the day, so now it's
Yeah,
you know,
I'd say
it's only like
2 at
it's
the
not like
latest.
yeah, it's like 2 at the latest, noon. You know, whatever. All right, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Anyway, so describe I suppose the end of this journey for us.
Yeah, so what you see first before you see like the coastline is this large landmass. It's large for where it is. It itself is not large. Probably about like a quarter of a mile in diameter. That's in the air. And it looks like a little castle is on top of it. And it seems to be its only function is to house that castle. And it is about 500 feet in the air. And afterwards, you are able to see the coastal town. There's a lot of merchants and ports and places to be able to do both like recreational and business activity. The structures
You're giving us the
themselves.
tourist version of this.
What do you mean?
Sorry, just the way you describe, like, that's like I imagine like an advertisement for this
Well,
place. Like, there's many opportunities to do,
I'm just thinking of
shopping and food and tourist activities.
a
I don't
little
know.
bit. I'm imagining. So there's a place called Port Jefferson on Long Island, and I imagine this place to be very much like Port Jefferson, where it's
Okay.
very recreational but also businessy, right along the water. And then there's a lot of rolling hills in the background, and no structure here is more than 2 stories, and everything seems to be, at least in part, built into the earth, very much like Hobbit hole like. So even if sort of like the ground floor is like built into a hill, they might have a second floor that's kind of earth that's molded around it and kind of artificially put in, or like a clay hut on top of the earthen mound. The only thing that seems to be 100% like not built in the earth, nor you would notice, is the Wizard's Tower, which.
Wait. But what about this floating castle?
I mean, give me a perception check. You're muted.
I lost audio because of
I can't hear you right now. I'm
lost audio
sorry.
for a sec. You said give me a, and that.
Perception check.
Can you hear me now? Perception check. Okay. Oh wait, as the eagle, right?
Yes.
All right, so I have advantage because it relies on sight. 15.
All right. Yeah, you notice that there's a slight shimmer on it. There seems to be some sort of magical barrier that would
Wow.
stop someone from just being able to pop their way up onto there. It does not seem to have many like physical things. And as you come out of your eagle form and you're a little bit more like intelligent, you can tell that there used to be a physical barrier, because there seems to be a very clear place where this piece of earth was lifted, and along the coast a little further north from where you are, there is a fence line, a semicircle fence line that guards nothing but ocean at that point. So you
Where
imagine
a
that
castle
like
used to be.
exactly.
Well, we made it. Whew. Probably not the most pleasant journey you've ever had. I assumed the whole time my familiar was just perched of the giant eagle.
Yeah.
Oh, I can just bamf them out of existence, right? And then
Yeah.
bamf them back in. So I bamfed them out. So then now they're bamfed back in.
Mm-hmm.
Not the worst journey I've ever had.
See? There we go. Looking on the bright side. Okay, let's go up to the wizard tower. Is there anything you
Yeah.
want to do before we get there?
I will BRB real quick.
Okay.
While she's BRB'd, I will go pick up an item that is distinctly from this place. So if I ever want
Yeah.
to teleport here again, I have a specific item of equipment.
Yeah. There are actually like tourist maps of the immediate area on little like it's like a single pamphlet with like printed press, so you know that there is some sort of press here as well, of the kind of where to eat, where to sleep, where to get your money converted, stuff like that.
All right, so this would be an object taken from there in the last 6 months. All right,
Yup.
there we go. I got the map, the touristy map.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And so we'll walk up to the wizarding tower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and I
walk up-
will knock on the door. If there is
Before
one.
you knock on the door, and there is one, you notice, so it's going to be a little bit theater of the mindy. You notice that where the door is, there are four little orbs about like fist size popped out on it. And there is a flat screen. Everything is all black right now. And I'm just going to give this to you. If you touch any of the orbs, it cycles through these colors: red, blue, green, yellow, orange, brown, black. When you touch the four squares, nothing happens.
So when I touch it, it goes through the colors of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's these circles there. Can I like drag it over to an orb over and put it in the circle?
Well, these circles are the orbs. So
Okay,
you
wait,
touch
okay.
these little orbs, which are circular.
All right.
And they.
I'm just gonna be like, oh Jesus, you, you're playing games with us. I say out into the door.
And you do not get a response.
I'm tired. I feel really, really tired right now. I did not sleep well last night. But anyways, all right. Let's solve this puzzle. All right. Nora's like upset. She's like, it's been a long day already.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got four orbs. And so I'm assuming my character is kind of assuming that like I'll touch all four at the same time. What happens?
I mean, you touch all four at the same time, and they all turn the next color in the cycle.
Oh, okay. So they don't. Okay, the way I thought initially you're saying is like they all like they went through a turn and then they went blank again or something
Oh
like
no,
that.
you
Okay,
you
okay.
touch it, and like one of the colors is black. It's just the last one and the default.
Okay. Well, we'll try it. Maybe it's just his favorite color, and then I'll set it to each one of the colors, like all four to one color.
Which color?
Well, I'll do all four to red, and then I'll
Okay.
do all four to blue, and
Okay,
so on and
pause.
so
Yeah,
forth.
we'll pause there. So we're gonna do red first. You set all four to red. And 1 second. You will then see these light up red and make a buzzing noise. And then a second set of orbs pops out of the door.
What were those? What are the squares?
It's when you when you interacted with all of them, and had them set into a color. All four of these lit up red.
Okay, and then they all went black.
No, and then a
Doing a
second
puzzle?
they stay like this.
Okay.
A second set pops out immediately below it.
All right. Well, let's put them. Let's make them all blue.
All right. 1 second. So you make them all blue. I keep doing this every time I do this.
The world is blue.
And when you set them all, you have this happen. And there's a buzzing noise and a happy little chime. And then, whenever I could find the right goddamn layer, there we go. A third set appears.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do green, green, blue, green.
All right. So you do green, green, blue, green. And you've received the following. And you get the buzz.
And I'll say, and as I get the buzz and the ding, I'll say, you could have it more clear. I would have thought the top right was number 3. So the next one I will do yellow, blue, yellow, green.
Okay, you do yellow. Yellow, blue, yellow, green. And
I've played Mastermind before, Casey.
I know.
Anyways, sorry, keep going. I'm just joking around. Wait. Why are they all red? Oh no.
Give me an intelligence check.
I'll make an intelligence check. Sure. That's a 22.
You would know at this point that the green means how many you have right. However, the location of the correct one is not determined by what square is green. So that means in the all blue one, you had one of those right. In the one with the green, one of those was right. So, like, at this point, you can safely say that, like, there is a
All
blue,
right.
but the
Blue,
is
yellow,
not the
blue,
first or
yellow,
second.
green, blue, yellow, blue, yellow. Sorry, no, blue, green,
Mhm.
blue, green, yellow. Blue, green, orange, yellow.
Sounds good. So you do this, and you receive back a chime and a buzz.
All right, so blue, green. Blue, green, and then we'll go orange, brown.
Sounds good. So you do that. Sorry, I'm doing that. God damn. You said orange, brown?
Yeah.
All right, you get that, and you will receive the same bing, bing, bing buzz.
Blue, green, orange, black.
Sounds good. So you do that. I'm on the right layer this time. Orange, black. And you receive 4 correct ones. And
There we go.
a doorknob will manifest itself right below it.
And I will open up. I'm not even gonna knock. I'm just gonna open up the door.
Sounds good. You open up the door. What are y'all's passive perceptions?
Not good. 12.
18.
You notice that Ash, that there is a light shimmer in the doorway. It's definitely arcane in nature. You don't know exactly what it is or what it does, but you notice that it's there.
Yeah, he'll definitely say something.
My
To
passive
Nor.
investigation is 20. I don't know if that matters.
This is an arcana.
Oh, that was investigation. But anyways, keep going.
Yeah, so he would just be like, "Hey, door's shimmering." I don't know if that means anything though.
Or like the empty space in the doorway. Once you open it, there's like to walk through, you're passing through this shimmer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll say that.
It'll probably kill us, and I'll walk through it.
Yeah, you walk through and come out on the other side, no problem. Nor, what's your HP?
Oh shoot. 19, 20. I took 21 damage. 1 sec. Because I remember I did that long rest thing to get my spell slots back. Okay, so that's I'm at 61 out of 82.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you meet a little resistance, but you're able to push through.
Okay, I guess Ash will follow suit. His HP is 110.
Yep, you're fine.
What happens if you have too little HP? You just die?
You get bounced. Doesn't want weaklings in here.
You kind of hit the nail on the head. It's actually the threshold of anyone of 60 HP or lower can't walk into the thing. But yeah, so you enter this space and you are met by a long winding staircase, and you make your way up, and then we could just say like that staircase like exits just like, over here.
Oh, I was gonna yell hello.
Okay, you could do that. But anyway, you yell hello, and you get back, it echoes, and then you'll hear, yeah, you could come up.
All right, I guess I'll go up.
All right. as you go up the staircase, you the sort of like the doorway for exiting the staircase into the higher level of the castle is quite low. Nor you're able to just duck your head a little bit because if I remember, you're like 5 feet tall, so like you're able to just get in without having to bend. But Ash, you have to like duck in, and then the ceiling is also like similarly low. So this entire time, while Nora's able to, if she doesn't stand on her toes, she'll be fine. Her head will just be tickling the ceiling, but the entire time, Ash, you will have to sort of be kind of ducked down, and you are, you're not greeted by, but you see a goblin sitting at the desk, dressed in lavish blue robes with silver trim. And he looks up and goes, not bad. You didn't have to redo it. I would
don't
have
know what
solved
that
it
means.
in fewer attempts, though.
What did they say? Sorry.
I would have solved it in fewer attempts, though.
I'm sure you would have.
Yeah. So you bring something cool?
I
Let
did.
me see it. Hands out a.
I don't know. First, what's
Skinny
your
little
like
doll.
name, dude?
I'm
Why don't you just,
Mulligan.
Sorry, what was that? You kind of are
Mulligan.
cutting out a lid. Oh my gosh.
Mulligan.
Mulligan. Okay. Hi, Mulligan. I am Nor. This is my traveling companion, Ash.
He's a tall bastard.
Sure.
You can sit on the floor. I won't be offended. I don't got chairs your size, though.
Yeah, Ash just sits down cross-legged
Yep.
where he's at.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, but not there, though. No, I'm just kidding. And then he'll look back to you. So, I see you brought show and tell with your friends, but, any show and tell with some magic stuff?
Yeah. Here you go, and I'll hand him the scroll.
And he'll, open it up and go, oh, this is interesting. I don't have this one. Thanks for that.
I figured you wouldn't.
And this is great for a coastal city. Not like I plan on, ever, using it to, murk the town people, but if I ever need to give them a little bit of a scaring. It's a good way to seem tough.
That's a hurdy one. I wouldn't, be careful with it.
Okay. So what'd you come here for?
Oh, I just, I was like, better to meet some other people who like to study the arcane like me. And so,
Oh, what do you study?
well, I study the best magics. That's what I study.
That's
Mostly
vague as shit. Can you be more specific?
Mostly I just try not to hurt people.
Well, that's fine, but like, what kind of magic? Like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't hurt people. Like, there's abjuration, there's illusion, there's enchantment. There's a lot. What kind? You got to be more specific.
All right, well, you might have said it. I don't know.
You might have said it.
Yeah, I guess you like to play games, so here's the game for you. Guess
That's
what?
not
School
that's
of
not a game.
Magic.
What game did I play? I'm just trying to keep randos out of my house.
I'm not upset about your game. You just like games.
I don't
so I'm
like
playing
games.
a game with you.
I hate games. They're a waste
well,
of time.
You know what? I agree. And that's why I'm making you play one. Because I have been flying all day.
Ash is just gonna like scoot over to where there is wall and just like lean up against the wall and maybe fall asleep now.
Sounds
like,
good.
That might happen.
You hear Giles just humming pleasantly in your head, trying to like sing you to sleep in a way. So, fine, what game are we playing?
It's Guess My School. It's a fun game. So now you can look at me. I will even let you cast Detect.
He was already, he watches, like, his hands are already moving, and he'll like give you a deadpan look, and he'll go, "I don't need detect magic to know what you are." And I'm just gonna roll a d6.
Well, I was gonna say, well, you can ask me yes or no questions, to like 20 questions. I'll give you 3 yes or no questions about me. Anything you want to know, I'll answer yes or no, and then you have to guess the school after those 3. If you get it wrong, I don't know, I win. I'll tell you
Ash
what my
against the wall is just like seeing if it, like not trying to hide it, but also just seeing if this goblin even sees him, and he's just gonna go.
His passive perception is an 8, so he does not. But I think that Nor does see Ash do that. And he's like, and he's also just like staring up with like a big grumpy frown up at Nor, and he'll go, "Is your favorite school of magic making people do what you want them to do by saying sweet, sweet words to them and making them having to not have a chance to say no?"
I would say no.
Is your favorite school of magic the one where you protect people by absorbing damage and making sure that things aren't able to hit them as easily?
You're really bad at this game. You're not supposed to just ask me. You're supposed to try to eliminate options on the list.
I eliminated enchantment.
But you could have eliminated more than one at a time. Did you think about that? Now she's just playing with him like, are you as smart as you think you are? Like, now, she's trying to, she's, just playing with him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He gives you the stink eye and goes, "I'll play the game that I want to play and the way that I play it. So answer yes or no."
The answer is no.
All right. And then he'll think, "Do you like to use magic that lets you change the way that things are?"
Yes.
And then he'll go, "So you like divination, like me?"
Well, I would say, one second, modify memory divination. I'm just curious.
Uh-huh.
That's enchantment. I've dabbled in the divination, yes, but that is not my primary. That's not my expertise. No.
Well, that's a shame, because that is the best school of magic.
Nope.
Listen, did you come here to dick around all day, or like, what's...
We're getting to know each other. We're becoming friends who can rely on each other, This is what friends do. They hang out. They, out each other.
The last friends that... What?
You don't have a lot of friends, do you?
I have, and I'll count, 4 friends.
Did you count your parents in that?
No.
All right,
There's
continue.
2 druids that I'm friends with. There's a gnome that I don't like her that much, but she's really good at magic, so I only keep her around sometimes because she does good magic, but don't tell her that. And then there's a guy that's really good with his fists. He's good at punching stuff a lot. He was my first friend.
Sounds like a good friend.
Yeah.
That's good.
And sometimes he's got like this other guy in his head that like comes out every now and again. It's kind of like a split personality in a way if you don't have control over the second one, and the second one only comes out for like 3 seconds at a time every other week.
Has he gotten that checked out?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. So here I am. So what I was thinking is, you and I could be friends. That's why I sent you that letter.
Hmm. You know what you could do to be my friend is you could take care of the problem in the castle that's flying. That would
I
make you
saw
a
that while
really
I was
good
flying
friend.
in.
Like probably even my best friend.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know if we're best friends. I
Oh,
already
not
have.
yet because you haven't taken care of the castle problem for me yet.
Okay, well, maybe I'll be your best friend, and you could be my friend. Yeah, that'll work.
That's fine for me.
Okay, so now that sounds interesting. I did see the flying castle you described as we were flying in.
Yeah.
We flew in today. I don't
So
always
I heard.
I don't always fly
Well,
places.
why did you fly? Why didn't you just teleport?
Well, I did teleport, I just teleported to the wrong place.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. So I ended up I burned the magic that I prepared for today.
Hmm.
It's already all gone. So I'm
Well,
gonna have to
there's an inn in town.
Well, if we're gonna be friends, we gotta be friends both ways.
What do you mean?
I'm about to scratch your back, it would appear. Do something that I guess you can't handle.
I can handle it, I just don't want to.
Sure. And so you can scratch my back. You got a cool place here. You gotta have a guest bedroom, don't you?
No, but I can make one.
That's the first step. If you want more friends, which you should, it's
Why
a
would
dangerous.
I want more friends? I've got Richard. He's my fifth friend. I have 5 friends. And he will whistle and a snow owl will fly down from its perch onto his shoulder. And you would know that this is a familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You already have noticed that I have a Richard of my own.
And you've got a raven, right? So, yeah. Raven, good choice.
What do you mean by choice?
What do you mean? You can't choose what shape your friend is?
I don't know. I think describing it as a choice is just weird. I guess I choose, but I let them choose.
Nah. If I'm using the energy and the components, I say what goes.
Well, then they're not really your friend. They're more like just your servants, right? You're kind of paying them to hang out with you.
Is that not friendship?
No, if you pay someone to hang out with you, they're just like an employee. They're not really your friend.
But isn't all friendships kind of like exchanging resources and abilities and making sure that you always come out a little bit on top?
So I would say that's not really friendship, and that's another reason why you don't have a lot of friends, I think. But we're gonna remedy that, You're gonna take Nora's class in friendship and love, and we're gonna get
that
you.
That sounds awful.
No, it's really not. You can ask.
Does Nora's class of friendship and love involve more spell scrolls?
Well, it does involve whatever's going on in that castle that's bugging you that you can't figure out going away.
I can once again, I can figure it out. In fact, I could give you most of the solutions, but actually no, I think it'd be fun to see if you could do it without me helping you in terms of the solutions, but I can guarantee you I know how to do it. I just really don't like doing the adventuring shit anymore. After the 3rd dragon you slay, it all just becomes a pain in the ass.
Oh, sure. I'm sure you got lots of dragons in your slaying past.
What, you calling me a liar?
What? No, why would you think that?
It's the tone of
See?
your voice. Everyone
No, this
thinks,
is
oh look, it's a shitty little goblin. They're dumb, and all they do is eat their own shit all day. But I'm a smart.
Have I said
humanoid
anything
being.
about you and the way that you look?
No, but you're condescending.
Well, I wasn't being condescending. I think
A
that
little
maybe no, just listen. I think that maybe this is, you're just not really a people goblin, and so sometimes you mishear things, or you hear things in a negative way. Are you sure that that's not something you think about yourself, that you're projecting onto
Definitely
me?
not. I got a lecture about this from one of my friends because I gaslit my friend a lot. And I think that's what you're doing to me. You're trying to gaslight me.
I'm not gaslighting you. I want to be your friend.
Well, then let's talk about what you
I
can do
mean,
in the castle.
you're a great dragon slayer. Why wouldn't I
am.
want to be your friend?
I've slayed 3. It was
Yeah.
a green one, and then I slayed a white one, and then the silver one was a little bit unfortunate, but it had to be done.
Ash, how many dragons have we slain?
I think 2.
Yeah, 2.
But you can lie. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not telling you to lie. I'm just saying I'm getting you a little bit more involved in the roleplay scene, and also, you can answer it however you want.
So Ash is like 2, but the zombie horde was harder.
Oh, zombie hordes are bastards. And they're not as fun. Like, it's funner to fight, like, one really smart, really powerful thing than a lot of, little things that, only have strength in numbers.
Honestly, both dragons that we killed took all of 18 seconds, so it was over quick.
Well, that's a shame. You didn't play with your food?
No.
No. So anyway,
Well,
the
all right.
castle. So you're gonna take care of it?
Not until you tell me what it is. If I'm gonna be hurting somebody who's like innocent or something, I'm not gonna do
no,
it.
don't worry. So, all right, I'll try and make this short, but it might be a little bit of a long story. So when I first got here, because the party that I was with, we all decided that we all had all of our own goals and we should all try and follow them individually for a little while. And so I decided I want a wizard tower because I saw a lot of wizard towers, well, not a lot, but a good enough that, made me want my own along the way. So I decided that this is a beautiful place for a wizard tower because, look at the shore, look at the commerce, it's great. So, the people here, they didn't like goblins a lot. I'll be honest with you. They still kind of hate me. And it's definitely only because I'm a goblin that they hate me. So they said that if I got rid of all of the slimes and oozes and all the weird magical stuff that kept coming out of the sea, they would let me build my wizard's tower here. So I did. And then they wouldn't let me build the wizard's tower because technically I'm a goblinoid and not a humanoid, and therefore they didn't have to value the contract that we we even shook on it and signed on it. So I got really pissed. So I made all of the slimes and oozes and weird shit appear in the castle, and I drove out the nobles that used to live there because I was really pissed. And so they said, fine, we'll let you have your tower, but you gotta make it so that you gotta get rid of the slime again. And I said, no, I'm not gonna do the same work twice just to get what was owed to me, but I'll make sure that the slimes and oozes don't get you. So I made a barrier so that, they couldn't leave the castle. However, people were dumbasses and wanted to try and test their luck against the slimes and oozes, and people kept dying. And they're like, Mulligan, why didn't you, why are you letting so many people die? Why don't you just get rid of the stuff? And I got rid of the stuff, but you didn't let me build my castle, so I had to go to desperate measures, and that's all your fault. And then it kind of went back and forth until finally I just yeeted it into the sky so that the slime wasn't there, and then people weren't dying because, people can't fly unless you're really powerful. But apparently, there's something in there that they really need, and it needs to be connected to the land, so I have to bring it back down. But then that requires getting rid of the slimes and oozes, which I don't want to do. So that's where you come in.
Sounds like you made a problem that you don't want to solve.
Well, you did hear the part where I did the thing they wanted me to do and they didn't honor the contract that we made because I'm not a humanoid and the law only applies to humanoids.
Sure. I mean, I'm just saying, you don't seem like the most agreeable creature I've ever come across. I don't know. I haven't seen the contract. You got a copy
He
of
is
it?
already just like angrily going through his desk and he's actually like, I feel like a lot of wizards have this sort of like controlled chaos in a way, but everything is meticulously filed and he is able to within seconds open the drawer, open to the right file, pull it out and slap it on the table.
I will look over the document.
Yeah.
What do I see?
And you would see, based on the document, that his story pretty much checks out. And what was I gonna say? You don't know the law here, so it's possible that he might, be sort of like fudging the truth on like, and I'm not saying that he is, but it is possible that he might be fudging the truth on some of the legal jargon. But this contract here does very sort of like explicitly say if you get rid of the slime, then you can have this space, then you have the right to purchase land and build a tower here.
So they let you purchase the land, then they just didn't want you to build the tower? Like, what was
Well,
that?
no,
Was that
they
all
weren't
about?
going to let me purchase. Actually, well, here's the thing. They were going to let me pay all the fees to attempt to purchase the land, but then deny me because only humanoids can own land.
Okay.
So then I wouldn't have been able to purchase the land, but I would have paid all the fees and all of the filing stuff.
And yet you still want to live here.
I mean, that's why I have the barrier, so dumbass people like them can't, bother me. I'm happy in my tower. It's a great view.
Sure.
And then I'll just make myself go invisible when I want to take a dip.
All right. So what do I get out of this? What do we get out of this?
Well,
We get friendship, yes, but as you
friendship?
noted, you view friendship as trying to get one over on somebody else. You kind of showed your hand a little bit there. So,
What do
I
you
don't want to
mean?
just
How did I show my hand?
Well, you said like 10 minutes ago that you just view friendship as a series of exchanges where you try to come out ahead.
Yes.
And so now I'm looking at this now as an exchange because that's how you look at it. You told me
Good.
yourself. So I don't want to just go up to that castle out of the goodness of my heart. I want something in return.
Fine, what do you want?
I want your help.
With what?
Do you know where I'm from? Did I say that already?
You went a little like British there. I don't know where that accent came from. No, I'm kidding. But he'll go, yeah, you said that you were from Taizhou where there's a lot of like shit against magic users, so that's why you said it's probably better you visit me than I visit you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. So easy proposition. When the time comes, you come help me help us out. We're gearing up for
Yeah.
something big.
Do you remember the part where I said I don't like the adventuring stuff anymore? Can't I just like give you some gold?
No, we have lots of that.
I have
Probably
a
more than
lot
you.
of gold.
Probably
Like,
more than
a
you.
lot of gold.
How much we talking about? What's it worth to you?
And he'll think and go, 600 apiece. You could clear it in a day.
We want his help. We don't want the gold. Gold doesn't matter. we wanted 600 gold, we could have just went to the bank. Uh,
I mean, technically, yes. Would Casey let us do that?
I mean, you would have to liquefy some of your assets, but yes, you would be able to.
I can always just teleport into the bank vault and just take a bunch of gold.
I mean,
you
yeah,
know?
you could do
Nor
that too.
would Nor do that?
For the right
I
reasons, I could see it.
for the right reasons, yes. But
Go raid Lucky's parents' house.
That is
yeah,
something
but I
that
mean,
you
that,
could
like
do.
yeah, like she doesn't want to harm people, but there's like if she doesn't view that as necessarily as harmful as as
So,
like a
like,
harmful use of
lie,
magic.
cheat, steal, just no murder.
Yeah, she's not really much
Okay.
for lying, but more she could be persuaded to steal. That's what I would say. Like that, especially from unethical. Like she would steal from the Inquisition, no problem. She could be convinced to steal from certain people. So, yeah, you don't like the whole adventuring thing. This one wouldn't really be an adventure. You'd just be helping us out.
I need more details. So what's this shit going on? Like that they're prosecuting magic users?
Prosecuting would be nice. It's kind of like, so you know how you're a goblin and you wanted to come here and buy land, and they were like, "Oh no, we're not gonna let that happen." And it was only when they kind of needed you that they were like, "Okay, fine, you can live here." And then they even tried to go back on it, right?
Yeah.
Imagine they treated all goblins like that, but worse. They just rounded you up and put you in prison. Or
Well,
just
that's
killed
shit.
you.
Well, then the
Yeah.
goblins have to get good. Like, I got good. I was able to make it so I got what I wanted, so why aren't they getting what they want over there?
There's more powerful people on the other side. It's not just people who die to oozes.
Alright. So, like, what would my help involve? Like, this is going to be done in a day. If you're good, at least. Like, would I be able to be in and out in a day?
It could easily be a day, and also, my friendship comes with a lot more than just, just me clearing out some oozes for you. You got to think big. You don't have any other wizard friends, do you?
No, Toddle's a sorcerer. She's not smart.
Exactly. Imagine the things we could do together. The things I know that you don't. I know
What do you know that I don't?
I know 2 schools of magic that I know you haven't heard of.
What are they?
Well, if I told you, then I would be showing my hand. And I'm a little smarter than that. And I didn't prepare either today.
Tell me one of them tomorrow.
All right, I'll tell you one tomorrow.
Cool.
But now you're starting to see simpatico, eh?
Yeah, I guess. But, like, definitely only 1 day's worth of work when I go help you. If I go help you.
Not an if. A goblin, I suppose, honors their contracts, right? You don't want to be like the people outside
Hell
who
no.
don't honor
And he
theirs.
pulls out a law book, and he slams it onto the desk, and you could see that it's like Valencia law, and he probably meticulously studied it to the letter. I don't go back on my word. I'm just saying it because I didn't agree to it yet. And I didn't want you to think that I thought that this was an agreeable proposition.
I think it's pretty agreeable too. We have a particular day in I'm saying it's a particular day, but you have to be able to, if you're gonna do that particular day, you're gonna have to be able to. Can you teleport?
Yeah, who can't?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I'm gonna flick him a coin. Is that associated object from Taijo? Because like it's a Taijo copper piece, right?
Yeah.
You can use this to get there without any trouble.
Okay.
Anyways, so you'll come for that one day, and you'll help us out. Like a bunch of the leaders of the bad people they're gonna be hanging out that day, and so
Nice.
we're gonna need some help. You know, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the plan yet, but maybe like I don't know, changing their memories, making them think that they're the good guys now. I don't know exactly.
You mean
I don't.
that's a lot less fireball than I anticipated.
Oh, I don't know that one.
You don't know, but it's like the best spell ever.
I've never needed it.
Blech.
But anyways, you come for that day, you help us out, and we're friends beyond that. We can hang out outside of that. I can show you, I run a orphanage. Like
I
a
don't care
school,
about orphans.
but they're all magical.
I mean, they're not smarter than me, so what do
Have
I
you
care
met?
about them?
Well, I'm smarter than you, so at least you got that going for you. But also,
You're not smarter than I am.
anyways, what I was gonna say was, oh my gosh, I lost the train of thought. Yeah, you come help, and we hang out together. And you can meet some cool people along the way too, who might also become your friends.
Why do
And
you
more
think
friends
that
is
I
good.
want friends? I just want stuff. And more stuff about magic.
Well, you can get that there too. I even have a map filled with knowledge. I'll let you in on a little secret. You
Yeah.
probably already know this, but maybe you don't. Magic existed a long time ago, right?
I'm gonna roll a D100 because that's super rare. So it's really only on like a 99 or 100.
But me by making it like he should know it will make him.
Yep. So he's just gonna. Yeah, of course I knew that.
Do I believe that he is familiar with magic being ancient?
Go make an insight check.
That will be a 22.
Yeah, I mean he seems like he tries to create doubt by being just a little bit more aggressive than usual. You could tell that that's probably one of those things where he's just getting a little extra defensive to make it seem like he knows something that he doesn't.
Oh yeah. Of course you've heard about it.
You have to be an idiot to not know.
Definitely would have to be a complete moron not to know about it. So I have a map of ancient places where they practiced magic long ago, underground and stuff.
His beady little goblin eyes are just completely wide.
Figure that might be worth 2 days of your time to see the map and copy it down.
There's
And you probably need help going in there and getting stuff too.
I don't need help.
You can't always teleport directly into these places.
Why not?
I'm telling you this. There's creepy things down there. Last time I had to make a deal with the devil to get that scroll that you got right there. By the way, that's written in the ancient text if you look at it closely.
Actually, yeah, he would have not known it was tidal wave then. Actually, no, he would have done comprehend languages, and it would have taken him a while of looking at it. So yeah,
that's not Taizhou. That's the ancient language.
Oh shit! No kidding.
Yeah, but you got to watch out for the devils, and sometimes there's these magical barriers that they set up. Sometimes there's these little creatures that just eat everything that they see. You can't even kill them. They explode like a fireball, and there's thousands of them.
He is completely enamored with that. I love them. They sound amazing.
I would say they are certainly amazing. And also very dangerous.
I'm getting one as a pet.
Sure, it just, when it dies, it's going to blow up half your tower.
That's okay. I'll figure it out. Okay, 2 days, but I really need to see that map. Just let me have a glimpse of it today. Just let me look at it. Just flash it at me.
Oh, I already know. You're just like me. If you see anything, you remember it forever. I'll show it to you tomorrow. Right now, I need to just. We need to kick back and relax. You got some good food here. You got a favorite restaurant you could take us to?
I don't go out to the restaurant. I just make food myself.
You make any good food?
For goblins?
How about I make food for tonight?
You'll have to go shopping.
I'll do that, no problem.
Okay. And he will conjure 5 pieces of gold.
All right, I'll go buy very
Just,
nice
with
fish.
an Arcana check, just so you know, you would know that like it's probably something that would expire. So like you would essentially be like, you know,
Yeah.
you would.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna throw him in a bush once I get out of range of the tower, and I'll pay with actual coin.
Yeah, sounds good.
But we can fast track a little bit. I will go get food. I will cook a dinner for everyone, and we'll do a long rest. And we'll have nice, pleasant conversation. And I'm just trying to be nice to the goblin, and also, it's just similar to the conversation we had before, where we rib each other. I guess that's that's what he likes.
Yep, and you would know that Mulligan enjoys it when people try and sort of play his game, in the sense that like, he doesn't want it to be like genuine like niceness. Like he wants you to try and swindle him just like he's trying to swindle you. And he is not very wise, so when you play him at his game, you tend to win. Yeah, pretty much. But he is super smart, like he is like an encyclopedic knowledge of like divination spells and lore and like law as well. He knows so much about Valencia law, to the point where like if you sent him like a Taijo law book, he might be of use to you, because he would probably want to learn it and then he might like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be cool if you like did this and you would get away with it, because like he likes learning the law so that he can find ways around it.
He's a loophole kind of guy.
Exactly.
So. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, that would just be another thing that you would get from spending time with him.
Would there be any like loophole that would force Valencia to help us out as a country?
Do you ask him that?
Yeah, but I'll do it in like the gamey kind of way that he likes.
Yeah. So while he hasn't looked at that yet, I mean, like, while he doesn't know something off the top of his head, he knows that there are depths that the queen has to honor. So Taijo, pretty much Valencia would have to be indebted or have a debt that has yet to be collected.
Okay.
So he doesn't know if there is one, but if there was one, that would be one way.
Or get the queen to be indebted to me.
Exactly.
I say to him, and how does he respond to that?
That'd be really good. In fact, oh man, how cool would it be what if I was the villain and you saved her from whatever like weird like malicious wizard thing that I was doing, and then you're indebted to her, and then she has to just use all of her resources to like squash the people, and then I don't know, maybe I'll just live underground with all of the little explodey friends, and I can make all the wizard towers.
Is that what you want?
I don't know.
If that's what you want, sure, but I was thinking, usually I guess the queen probably likes, unlike you and me, likes to build relationships on trust.
Well, I mean, you do you.
All right.
Hey,
well,
Tallman, what's your sword? What can I do to get that sword? I've been thinking about it all day.
Is he talking to me?
Yes.
Uh.
And then Giles goes, "Oh God, no."
Yeah,
In
he'd
your
say, nothing?
I get it for free?
No, you don't get it at all.
Why not?
Because it's mine?
Yeah, but it's It's a commodity. All commodities could be traded for the right price.
There isn't a price. It's priceless.
What happens to the sword when you die? Can I get it then?
Nope.
Why?
Because it'll reject you.
It has feelings?
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
See, Ash is so good at making friends. She can make friends with a sword. Or he can make friends with a sword. Sorry.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. All right. I'm
Time
gonna
for
go to bed
bed.
now.
All right. Oh, by the way, have you invented your own spell?
And actually, you hit like one of his like. Actually, I've been thinking about this one. Like, I'm just really close to finish it up. There's something about it that I can't do because it's sort of like one of the things that I'm already able to do, but I want to have more resources to do. But anytime I try and do it, I accidentally do the thing that I'm able to do, and then when I run out of the resources, I just keep trying to do the thing that's not there anymore. But like, I'm really close to it. I don't know, and like he's like pulling out all these notes.
But you haven't.
No, but I'm really
that's-
close.
Well, that's cool. I've made my own spell too.
How'd you do it? What spell did you make?
No, well, you've heard of invisibility, I'm sure.
And greater invisibility, it's the best.
No, it's not, because I made Nor's greatest invisibility.
What's that?
It's like greater invisibility, but it lasts all day, and you don't need to concentrate.
So I could go swimming for a really long time without anyone seeing me?
Yep.
Can I cast spells too? And not is it like greater where I can cast spells and not be visible?
Yep. Greater you can cast spells, but you can't cast concentration. You could even cast something like polymorph if you wanted.
Oh my god. What can I do to get that spell?
Well, that's just my spell. I made it, right?
But I want it.
Maybe we'll do 3 days then.
Are you sure you don't want gold?
No, I don't. I have all the gold I need. I didn't come here for gold. You think I can't make gold in Taizhou? I came here to make a friend.
And he'll think.
I'll tell you what. I got it. I will show you the map. Well, first of all, do you know that you gotta know the spell that where you could just like talk to like 30 people and all of them just do exactly what you want, right?
Are you talking about mass suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
He does not know that one. Of course.
You know, if you want to learn it though, you're gonna have to actually be truthful about this.
But I know it. I know the spell.
Really? Cast it on me.
I don't want to. It's wrong.
Oh, you don't strike me as someone who cares much about that kind of right and wrong.
Well, no, you can't enter a legal contract if you're not able to consensually make it.
Oh,
so why have
yeah,
a spell
I agree.
that like you can't, make people sign things for?
No, I totally agree with that. I was just saying, what if a bunch of people with pitchforks are like anti-goblin and they're about to stab you?
That's what
Wouldn't it be
what Fireball is for.
And then the law has said that you just murdered a bunch of people. But
It's
if you just said, go home, and then poof. Oh, yeah, but who's going to believe a goblin?
Well, that's why I, never come out of my tower again. They can't
And that's
come in
what
here.
I'm saying. I'm saying that this spell could help you out. You just have to be honest about the fact that you don't know it.
No, I don't need to cast the spell that I already know. So how about this? For the third day, you tell me how to cast Nor's greatest invisibility, and you have to teach me how to finish my spell.
All right. You drive a hard bargain. I counter offer.
And
2 days.
And for the third day, and if you do that, and you can have the spell too.
I'll counter your offer. 2 days, so no third day. Woo, you're already winning here.
Oh,
No my spell. I help you finish your spell, and instead of a third day, you you figure out what the queen needs that I could get of her that would make her indebted to me. You don't have to figure it out right away. I know you can send messages from long distances.
I like that. I like digging over the royalty. So I'll still get to learn your spell, but
No,
instead
that
of,
one's off the table right now.
But I want that spell. How can I
Here-
get that spell back on the table?
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. Okay. I know you want the spell. I want you to have the spell too, but here's the thing. This is the tricky part about it is where I'm from, magic is completely illegal.
Okay,
It's against the law.
but
And
it's legal here.
I know it is, but see, I invented this spell.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to take credit for my invention. No one knows it but me. If I give it to you and then you
But-
go cast it somewhere, even if you don't mean to, people are going to say, that's Mulligan's greatest invisibility, not Nor's. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to have to wait until I'm famous enough to give it to you. So everyone knows it's my spell.
How about this? Once I get the queen to and you could do that and you show it to the queen, then you have to show me how to do that spell. Because then if the queen knows that Nor did it, then it's Nor's greatest invisibility and not Mulligan's. And wait a second, I could apply the same thing. How will I know that people won't think that my spell isn't your spell when
Because
you go
I've already
cast it?
made a great spell. That's why.
But when you cast my spell and no one's seen it before, they'll think it's your spell.
Oh, I will say your name when I cast. I'll say, I am casting Mulligan's great spell. And then every time I cast it, I will say, I will invoke you.
But I could do the same thing.
But nobody here knows who I am.
Yeah, but no one there knows who I am either.
They will once you come help us.
Yeah, but then you still get to use it all the time until I come help you.
1 sec. Let me look at my spell list. All right. You drive a hard bargain. I got a different thing. Same line of work. I can't give up Nor's greatest invisibility, but you seem like somebody who needs a guard dog.
Yeah.
All right, I got a scroll here. Invisible guard dog.
That's the best kind.
You want it?
Yes?
Drop the thing about invisibility and I'll hand it to you. Right here, it's yours.
He's really tempted. He's like, can we renegotiate the invisibility in the future?
We're friends.
Okay, and he'll just.
And I'll
okay.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I no longer have a faithful hound, but he's
Sounds
got
good.
it.
Yep.
I have to go to the bathroom really bad.
Yeah.
Let's long rest and let's get going on the ooze
I
thing.
know. I was like, I was expecting this, like, maybe a half hour in, but instead we got lost and then made deals with a goblin.
Well, I really am excited to have the queen indebted to me.
No, that's like
solve-
super
and-
lit.
All right. Oh, I'll be right back.
Ash is very proud of you.
No, that definitely was like probably like the best that Nor ever negotiated. You will get ascending at the end of the day.
Okay.
Hi, swimmy McSwim face. How was the ocean? Hope you got out fine and are warm and dry.
Grumble, grumble,
Yeah,
grumble, grumble. I'm fine.
solid. Is there anything that Ash would do throughout the day, or?
Nope. This isn't, like this. This is Nora's thing. So
Mm-hmm.
he is. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. No, it's fun. I like playing that character. I like playing like a super smart character that also is like not able to, like, I don't know, someone who is like has an encyclopedic knowledge of the law and how to negotiate, but also is super bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Thanks for putting up with that
Yeah.
forever. For
No, you do
Um,
that for me all the time. Ash does talking to people. You're not. Sometimes you're not even there for it. At least
Yeah.
I can make faces that matter.
Yeah. What was the thing that you kept making a face for that I was dying about? At one point you're just like the whole time. But oh, I remember when it was like talking about how friendships work and like Ash was like, yeah, no, like that's kind of par.
It's kind of
Yeah.
that makes sense. Kind of,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
No, Ash hasn't fully moved into the like you can love unconditionally. Even though he does it, he still hasn't like intellectually processed that that's possible.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little time, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, Mulligan will at least let you know that you'll be able to fly through the barrier just fine. That barrier was just put up, so just in case anyone were able to make their way up, people of a certain, power or lower would just kind of be bounced off. Um, and you are able to make your way. How are you going to fly? Are you going to polymorph? How are you going to get your way up there? Because it is 500 feet in the air.
That's a good question. Uh, so I can just cast the fly spell at 4th level, and just get us that way. That way. Oh wait, let me long rest. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Since I know it's a day of adventuring, I need to slightly adjust my spell book, but I will keep fly and we'll fly up there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just look at this. Just make sure I have polymorph. That's the important one. Do you have a way to fly, Ash?
Nope.
No way to fly. Okay. It's 500 feet up, so Dimension Door wouldn't get me there.
Right.
Rats. Well, Dimension Door wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of a way to get it with a third, not
You
with
can
a.
climb though, right?
I mean, it's freestanding, so you would have to tie 10 things of hempen rope together.
All right. So would I be? Oh, here's the question. Could I cast Fly on myself and then just carry Ash at half speed?
Would you have the strength to carry him?
I have a 11 strength score.
So I think you'd be able to carry 150 pounds, which I think Ash would beat that, being a 6 foot tall fighter, even
And
without
an-
I mean, you
armor.
could cast fly on Ash, and then Ash could carry you.
Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah.
I mean, because his strength
That
is
would work.
16.
All right, that's
so-
good.
Yeah.
It's just good because the fourths are pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Even if they end up being a third level in the end, because like 4th is
Yeah,
where
I
I have
know.
polymorph, which is one of my most
Yeah,
powerful spells.
just cast fly on Ash, and he'll
All right.
carry you, and that's not.
So
a
we
problem.
walk out. I cast Fly on Ash, and Ash Superman's me up.
Yo.
I'll be like Lois Lane.
Yo.
I'll just hop in.
No, that's lit. And you don't have to make a strength check. Like, Nora's this small wizard, she's not in armor, she's not carrying a whole bunch of stuff. Like, her heaviest asset is her wizarding book.
I honestly, I am trying to imagine Ash as Superman, and that's really funny.
Yep.
All right, so we fly up, and we're there.
Yep. You are. So you
Oh.
are. Go ahead.
Yeah. I am just debating whether or not to cast Nora's Greatest Invisibility on. Yeah. So once we get up there, I'm assuming we're gonna spend the
Oh,
day,
pause.
spend another night here.
Oh yeah, so that's the question. You should figure that out with Ash because he was expecting to be. I mean, you could still go to work first thing in the morning, even if you long rest. But
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, as long as he's back by tomorrow morning, he doesn't care.
All right, then I will cast Nora's Greatest Invisibility on Ash.
Nice.
Maybe completely useless. If they're oozes, they might just have blind sense. It might be completely useless, but it lasts all day, so I'm gonna put that one on you.
Yep. And so just because like I think it would be not fun for you to like get the answer to the sort of like puzzle, but Mulligan does warn you that there are two puzzles immediately when you walk in, and that was what he did to like keep people out. And then once you're through those first two puzzles, then it's,
Combat and stuff.
exactly.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So you fly up and you land on, I mean, it's like a beautiful, I mean, it used to be more well groomed, but it's still gorgeous. Like now it's a little bit more wild. So instead of the hedges being in shapes of like rabbits and other stuff, like it's just this nice wild, flower bush that has, many colors all around. The castle itself is every single window that used to be there is cemented up.
Okay.
And kind of like airtight in a way. So Mulligan definitely was trying to make sure that like the oozes couldn't like sneak their way out through any sort of opening. So you are pretty safe in feeling that like, okay, if I ever needed to like bug out of here, we could just dimension door back to here, rest up, and then pop back in if we needed to. So that's just something like if so it wasn't like completely haphazard. Like maybe his execution isn't always the best, but he is thorough. And that also means that you're pretty sure that there's only one way in and out because he created the puzzle. So this, once you get through the second puzzle, that must be the last airtight seal before you go inside. So you approach the door, and it is like it's a crank that you have to do to sort of like lower the gate, and one of you does that, and then after a while you hear like a little chunk, and then it'll start closing its way back up. And there's a long hallway. What do you do to help Ash see, because he does not have dark vision?
I don't have dark vision.
Oh, what do you do to help both of you see?
I'll cast light on Ash's sword.
Am I
Wait,
invisible
no,
right
no,
now?
no, no, no.
Yeah.
I will
you don't
cast
want that.
light. I will cast light on my bracers because Ash is invisible. So Ash, remember that you have advantage on all attack rolls against creatures that don't know you, and all creatures have disadvantage against you.
Yup. No, that's so lit, and I'm here for it. So you first enter this sort of long hallway. So you walk for a while, and then eventually you find yourselves. 1 second. Gotta copy paste. Entering this large space. 1 second. I'm gonna get y'all down here. So at the end of that hallway, which is probably around like 100 feet long. And there is a imagine this is all one large room. And there is a door on the opposite side. There's a couple of like, pretend that these are like bookshelves or other things that help divide a large room to make it see into different sections.
Hey Casey, can you
Yeah.
zoom in a little bit more?
Yeah, we'll do. Here,
Thanks.
So this is all one large room. So pretend that this thing isn't here. It's just like, oh, this is sort of like a little swinging door that's like at waist height that you could walk through, so you could see everything from here. But in this particular area, there is like a lot of greenery. There is a tree. And a little bridge and some water, so that is actually there. There are bookshelves over here, so you can't like walk through this. So you would like have to progress through here in order to get to the other side of the room. And then far off, you're able to see illuminated by magical torches. So like it's like dim light over here, but you could see another door on the opposite side. What do you do?
So we were told there would be puzzles, but there's not an immediately obvious puzzle here, right?
Correct. You could do an investigation check to get more.
Sure. Nat 20 for 30.
Yo. All right. So, what I'm going to say is you notice that, one second. This tree over here seems to be keeping watch on you somehow. Like, you just kind of tell that the way that the branches are positioning and sort of like the leaves are shuffling, there's no wind, that it's just sort of waiting on you in a way. You can also tell that there's like a sort of grassy overgrowth over this bridge. It seemed to be just like sort of moss on the bridge, but you can tell that this is also something that you might want to avoid. So whatever puzzle seems to be or thing that would be in your way has to do with the bridge and the tree.
Does Ash still have fly on them? Lasts for 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, I'd say
Ash,
you're
why don't
probably
you-
in the last like 5 minutes of it, so you still got it
Alright.
for a little while.
I'll say, Ash, could you fly over the bridge and over everything? I think that the bridge is bad news. And I think that that tree in the corner might be alive. I'm going to say hi to it when we enter.
1 second.
I don't think this is really a puzzle, Mulligan, I say to myself.
Uh-huh. 1 second. I actually, shame on me, I forgot the name of the goddamn thing.
Awaken Zirkwood.
It's not. That's what it is.
Sorry, that was a joke.
1 second. I need to pull up because in my head I actually had Awakened Tree up. It's not one of those. There we go. I just want to make sure I found the thing that I was looking for. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So, does Ash invisibly fly his way across?
I mean, yeah, he'll try.
Where
Might as
do
well.
you go? So like the ceiling isn't terribly high at this point, but you can kind of like lay yourself like Superman style and be able to fly over the half gate over here. Do you try and investigate here, or like where do you go?
I
from
will just
here?
say, I'll say, hi,
this-
tree.
And Nor, where do you go? Because what is
Oh,
it?
I was
30,
going to be
30?
picked up. I
So
was,
what
I was
is-
just going to be picked up.
Oh, okay.
What is he? What is he? Or sorry, what is she looking for? Like, why? What are we? Sorry, what are we?
We just are
do?
trying to move forward to where the torches are, and she's saying that it looks like there's danger in this room on the bridge and that tree.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he'll just go into the room then and kind of like look around, where Nora thinks there is danger.
All right. So like, is this?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
So, as you enter, like the tree is definitely not aware of Ash. It seems. I mean, it seems like Nora. You can tell that the focus is on you. And as you what's it called? Wave at it. Pixies. 8 of them just start appearing all over the room. And they will wave back at you and give a wicked, toothy smile. And they will chatter something at you. Do you speak Sylvan?
I do not.
All right.
I speak Celestial, Common, and Infernal.
Jesus.
Are Elvin and Sylvan the same thing here?
No.
No.
Yeah. So they will chatter something at you, and you don't understand what it is.
Is comprehend language a ritual spell?
Well, if like, so the immediate, I don't know if it is, but this is what you get next. When you do not immediately respond to them or seem to like, like they seem to say something. Give me an insight check. Actually, we'll try that instead.
Passive insight is 17. I know Ash's super insight. That's actually it wasn't cocked. It was like I rolled it and then I thought it was a 12 and then I touched it and then it was a 15. I don't know if I moved it, so I'll just re-roll.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 18, so it just keeps getting better. 25.
Yeah, sounds good. You can tell that when they were talking to you, they weren't necessarily like looking for a conversation. They seemed to be like, "All right, this is how like kind of here's the instructions," and then and then they look like they're about to cast a spell. I will give you a reaction to like prepare, like, but they are not hiding the fact that they or like you can do like a sort of like thing that you can theoretically do in a reaction, but then we're gonna roll for initiative. So if there's anything you could do to prepare, but they do cast spells.
Do we know what spells they're casting? Can we tell that or not?
I don't think not with this because it is an innate casting ability. So you would not be like maybe if they were doing something different, but they don't.
They don't know
require-
that Ash is there, right? It's just me.
Correct.
All right. Well, I guess let's roll for initiative
Sounds
or
good.
whatever. I'm not gonna counterspell it.
There's also 8 of them.
Yeah, and they're all doing. That's why I'm not gonna counterspell it.
All right, give me 1 second. All right. What was your initiative, Eric?
I haven't rolled it. Sorry. Natural 20. Wow,
Nice.
21. Blue dice is liking me today, I guess.
24.
Jesus. All right, so you guys get to go first. So give me 1 second. Ash.
Remind me of how this works. If I attack someone, I become visible.
Nope, you're
Nope,
just
not this
invisible.
one.
Oh, okay. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
7th level spell. It better be good. But yeah, you are invisible all day. And you can
Alright.
give it to me if you want to, but it's yours.
Yep. So, you notice that the pixies very quickly turn themselves into half become Tyrannosaurus Rexes and half become giant apes. Ash, what do you do?
Well, he was like, these pixies are so small. It's fine. And now they're fucking huge.
Yup.
That's less fine.
Nor will say as it's happening, you can break their concentration.
So,
Oh, right. Yeah.
Nor, with your... So here's the thing. You can do that. You would also know that you could break the tree's concentration as well.
The trees?
Because with your passive arcana, and you knew that it was awakened, it seemed like the tree was waiting to cast something. So it seems like these pixies were conjured, and then
Oh.
did stuff to themselves. So
The tree! Hit the tree!
Okay. Yeah, I guess Ash will go after the tree.
Mm-hmm. And just so you know, like, because the polymorphs are gonna take the action, like, I put them there. So, like, this whole round, so you're essentially gonna get 2 rounds back to back because round 1 is just them polymorphing each other.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of plants around here, right?
Correct.
He hasn't used plant growth in a long time. Jesus, 100-foot radius? That's too much. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought it was 20-foot radius, and it's not. Yeah, he's just gonna go attack the tree. Well, I don't know. He's almost like doing diplomacy. Do I have plant speak? Is this one of those? No.
It would be diplomacy time if they didn't, if they didn't 2 Rexes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Ash is just gonna attack 3 times and call
Sounds
it a
good.
day. Oh shit. Man. I really wish I was still the other fighter because I just got 2 19s, which would have
Jesus.
given me 2 crits, but
Jesus.
Alas.
alas. But yeah, 19, 19, 17 on the die. So lots.
So the first 2 attacks, they rolled like over 20 on their con check. The third one is an 8. So on the second attack, on the third attack, all the pixies that are mid polymorph are gonna go away.
Okay, I guess I'll roll a bunch of damage.
Sounds good.
Fuck, man, this is
Not good on the damage dice.
no good on the damage dice.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Of the 4 d6s I rolled, I got 3 6s.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's 57 damage, yo.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean,
That's
you
pretty good.
carve into the tree, and the tree's pretty intelligent. It thinks that Nora's concentrating on the spell because that would make sense for invisibility. So it'll use one of its legendary actions to make an attack at Nor. So it just kind of whips out one of its branches and whaps at you, Nor, for a 23.
23. Let me just check. I have 17, so shield isn't gonna help me here. So I will use my thing, my once a day thing. The illusory self. Once per short rest, I can make a duplicate attack roll against you, it just automatically misses. So
Sounds good.
it looks like that tree might hurt. So I'll just use it now, right? Like
Yeah,
that might
definitely.
be the beefiest thing hitting me today.
Yo, sounds good. So definitely you do that, Nor it is now your turn.
Do I think I could dispel magic on the tree and then it would go away, or do I think this is like maybe not? I don't know if you'd say too powerful magic, or what I
The
think like maybe
tree-
this isn't the kind of magic that can be dispelled.
You think that like this is not the tree itself probably cannot be dispelled.
Okay.
But all of the T-Rexes and gorillas, or giant apes rather, they are gone. I'm just not gonna hit invisible for each layer.
Yeah. So the thing now that we're trying to do is like, I'm trying to think. Let me look at my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of how I could communicate. We mean you no harm. I'm looking. Just a second. Ooh, if we had 11 minutes, I could cast telepathic bond. Oh, but we would have cast telepathic bond, right? So just as a forewarning. How would I communicate with the plant? I'm going to say to the plant.
Mm-hmm.
One sec. Do I think that it can understand me? This is sorry. I know I'm taking a little bit.
Yeah, this is a little too metagamey.
You're fine.
So you wouldn't know. I don't think that you would know whether or
Alright.
not like.
I'm gonna cast suggestion.
Yeah,
And I'm
when I
gonna
say metagame, like I don't mean that you're trying to metagame. I'm just saying like I don't think that Nor would know.
Yeah, know that it can. Okay, well I'm gonna try. I suggest you just let us pass. Then no one gets hurt. Everyone
What?
wins.
What kind of save is it?
This is a wisdom save, and if I think wisdom save, the course of action. I'm just looking if there's no disadvantage on this. I think, because we're in combat. Sometimes there's stuff like that, but I don't see anything here that says that.
No,
if it's immune to being charmed,
is the one.
Yeah, if it's immune to being charmed, it can't be suggested. Just so you know. But yeah, I'll say that out loud while taking it. Yeah.
I'm just laughing at the description of this thing in D&D Beyond. it's literally, I didn't even notice it because like there's a whole shitload of things that it could do, and at the bottom it might have some lore, and this is the only lore it has: a xenophobic moss covered treant. That's named
Well,
so
then,
and so. So
and so
xenophobic.
my DC is 17, I believe.
It rolls a 14.
18. 18. All
So
right, but does it understand me? If it can,
Yes.
it has to be able to hear and understand you.
Yes.
All right.
So it's reeling back for another one, because it gets, multiple of these things. And you watch as the limb reels back, it just kind of goes down and steady and sways a little.
I'll walk over and I'll just like pet the bark a little, and I'll just say thank you. And then can we just is the door open, or can we like keep going?
Yeah, so you keep going. I mean, it's just a swinging gate, and then
Okay, it's just a swinging gate.
when you get to the tip top over here, there is a door. It is one of those like kind of crank wheel doors. Do you start cranking it?
Ash,
I
you think we
think
should
so.
just crank this door? Okay, go ahead, Ash. And I'm gonna step back maybe 20 feet.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay, yeah, he'll crank it.
Sounds good. So yeah, you crank it open, and it opens
another
up.
another mastermind game.
No. I'm just kind of drawing what happens next. So, when you walk in, so here is, kind of where you are. On the opposite side is another crank door. It is a long hallway, kind of reminds you of like a decontamination room in a way, if we're just going to get, kind of meta about it. Made out of pure stone. There is not a single crack on it. It's almost like there's like a self-mending charm put on this so that no oozes are able to, kind of slink their way through. And as you walk in, the door heavily closes behind you and you hear a little click. And as that happens, a pedestal rises from the center, and on it is a little lever. And as the countdown happens, you feel the room getting colder and colder. 10, 9.
I mean, I'll run and hit the
okay.
button. Also, are we in this
Yeah.
room together, or is it just me?
It's just the two of you.
Okay.
So,
But we are in the room together then.
correct.
All right.
So Ash rushes forward and hits the lever, and the room immediately starts getting warmer, but like it drops like 10 degrees with every countdown. And as quickly as
Okay.
it drops, it brings its way back up. So right now, like if it's say like 50 degrees out right now, yeah, because 50 sounds about maybe even 40. So like if it's in the 40s to 50s, it's gonna be like negative 20. No, negative a lot. No, that's a little too much. I'm gonna say negative 50 is where it's gonna end up. Where it's not like you're going to freeze immediately, but you if you spend time, it'll be very cold and bitter.
But it's getting warmer again.
Yeah, and it makes its way back up to the temperature it had been, and then you hear 10,
Oh
9,
fuck! I'm gonna hit the fucking
wait.
button again.
and then
So, okay.
So with every countdown, it gets 10 degrees colder with each number that it goes down. And then when
Unless we hit the
lever.
lever.
Yeah, you hit the lever, and then it almost is like counting itself back up in the terms of like it raises 10 degrees.
So keep hitting the lever.
Yep. And we're
I'm just
gonna
going to
pretend that,
note, Ash, that Mulligan said that this was designed to keep people out, but this just would kill anybody who hangs out here. I can see why he has trouble making friends. That's all. All right. So what do we see in the room? I'll take over lever duty, and while Ash kind of looks around. Ash is way more perceptive than I am.
I mean, but if this is investigation, that would be all you.
This is true.
I think at this point you would be investigating. Because
right.
you
I'll
kind
start
of
trying to-
noticed. Like if this was a more cluttered room, then you would have to do perception. But right now it's pretty bare. So I'm just gonna pretend that like every time it starts counting down, Ash like does the lever thingy. I'm not gonna-
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like nine, like you just like start smacking. I'm just laughing because I just imagine like Ash just like maybe even like making a tune to it, because it's kind of like a rhythmic at this point. So
Hmm.
what's that investigation check, and tell me what you're looking for specifically.
Well, I'm looking for the puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have this lever. Like, what's the? I'm looking for like whatever the puzzle is.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a 23.
Okay, so you poke around, and I'm going to let you like kind of use this to like ask questions because I don't think that like you would be able to figure out like what the be all end all of it is
Fair.
naturally. You are able to tell with certainty that the doors are locked. There is a sort of deadbolt mechanism that is taken away by scrolling the doors. But you
Okay.
can't scroll the doors because currently it's jammed. And maybe with an amazing strength check, you could break it and just force your way out. But that doesn't seem to be the puzzle at play.
Okay.
You look around for any sort of other exit. You cannot find any sort of like other lever or button or push thingy. That seems to be like the secondary thing that would unlock it. So, with that knowledge, where would you go from here?
I mean, actually, this is a pretty phenomenal cliffhanger, and it is almost 4:30. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but
Um,
I think you
let's
might
see if
be
we can.
able to. Yeah.
We might be able to solve it in 2 seconds, and then we got to fight oozes next week, so that could be a
Yeah.
good cliffhanger too. Okay. So looking around the room, so there's the door that's jammed. It won't go up even if. So I can't just dispel the magic because it's like physically jammed.
Yes.
Um, and then we got the lever in the middle of the room, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not missing any details.
Correct. Yeah, you have confirmed at this point that there are no other buttons or levers. You can like
Okay,
reinvestigate other things now, but
I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna cast Lehman's tiny hut
okay.
right in front of the door. And I say, Ash, just keep doing your thing. I'm gonna once Lehman Tiny Hut gets finished, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna make because you get to control the temperature in it. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
control it to be nice and humid and
Yep.
tropical. And then I'm gonna say, Ash, let's see what happens when you let go of it.
hold on just a second. I have a question. Can
Yeah.
I insight? So knowing the creator of the room,
Mm-hmm.
can I insight to see if I can't figure out what he would have done?
It's a bit rough. Like you can, but it's going to
It'll
like
be a high DC, right?
yeah.
D&D.
I mean, and if
Yeah.
if the answer is no, I'm also totally okay with
No,
that. It's
because
just
I
really,
think
it's
that it
rare that
definitely
you
is.
know the person who put the puzzle together.
No, I
So
know.
I
That's the
figure it was worth an ask.
yeah.
I literally
Uh,
thought the same thing. So like I
Yeah.
don't think it's dumb at
all right,
all.
so wait. I need a D4. Where's that D4?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. So the 19 plus 3 plus 16.
It's over 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DC was 30.
Okay.
So, you're trying to think about it. And Mulligan likes to kind of like flaunt how smart he is. And it kind of, and you think that he put a puzzle in that must have beat him once upon a time. Like maybe he encountered this elsewhere and one of his friends solved it and he was like just really salty. And Mulligan is someone that just like impulsively does things. Like he was the dumbass on the lever. And now you realize I'm the dumbass on the lever. Because it's counting down and then resetting itself. And Asnor's like, let's just see what happens when it counts all the way down. You're like, sometimes the smart thing to do is to do nothing.
All right. Yeah. So he will let it go and run and do a nice swan dive into the Lehman's tiny hut.
Yep. And yeah, so it counts down. It gets super cold for just a moment. It's not cold for longer than 20 seconds. But after the countdown reaches 0, you hear a click. And you can tell that the doors unlock.
Good job.
And that's where I'll end it today.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was fun. I love that
This was
puzzle
fun.
so much.
It's
It's
good. It's a good puzzle.
one of my favorites. Yeah. Um, Mind voice.
Yeah.
That was about sending.
Yeah. So the reason why I like sending is because it's meant to be completely telepathic, and I like telepathic things because I feel like people sound differently when they are doing things in their head than when they're talking out loud. Like, and when with a character like Tomas who has like a neurological thing that doesn't make him speak physically congruously, he sounds like okay or neurotypical. Um, when it's just telepathic.
Hmm.
So I like that as well. I also like the idea of like a character whose like thought voice is like super sarcastic and like they kind of forget what their inside their head voice is like, and like it's always like you're thinking about like, wow, this person's an asshole, but then I'm going to use my customer service voice and help you to the best of my ability.
Well, I mean, I also think that it's interesting for me because it's like, if you have, say, like a trans person who internally,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe they have a different internal voice. Like if you have body dysphoria in some kind of way, like of all types. Like I'm not just saying,
Yeah.
like there are lots of different types of body dysphoria, right? So like if you believe internally yourself or feel internally yourself to be different than what is externally presented or
Mm-hmm.
what genetics have given you in that way, right? Like I think that it's an interesting idea to say the mind voice is going to be different
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
than
actually.
what is externally presented. And I really love that idea. Like then because you have this idea in your head, like if you talk to the person through sending or through telepathy one way, you have an idea of what you think they're going to look like. And then if that is like something completely different, that it just changes. I don't know, it
Yeah.
just
Mm.
changes stuff a little, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I love that. One thing that I thought, it's like bringing it to like the quote unquote real world and changing gears a little bit, but in the vein of voices and trans people in gender confirmation healthcare, like they'll typically, like, not typically, but like it's more common for a healthcare insurances to cover like the sort of physical surgeries, but they don't cover vocal therapy, which I mean, it's good to cover anything, but like it's just kind of a shame that they also don't cover that because that is still a necessary thing for their, to deal with dysphoria. So,
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean there's also like you grow up, like let's say you grow up in the South and then like for whatever reason you decide to train yourself out of your accent, maybe Eastern, like New York or what are some of the other places where they have pretty thick accents?
Boston.
Yeah, well, East Coast, South, like wherever they have
Mm-hmm.
pretty hardcore accents, you want to change your accent to be something else for whatever reason, but your mind voice, which is like
Mm-hmm.
maybe how, like if you start cussing because you're angry, then sometimes that accent like comes out. Like, so is the mind
Yeah.
voice still in that accent? Like how do you talk to
Yeah.
yourself then? Like that's also like there are just lots of implications, and I think that it's like of saying the mind voice can be different than the external voice that I really
That
that I just think are really funny and
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Eric, did you experience this when you lived in China? Because like I knew that my mind voice changed when I started living in Spain and dreaming in Spanish. Um, because like
Um. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh no, just because like that was when I went to school for Spanish, they were like, yeah, like you are like becoming more and more fluent when you start thinking in the new language and when your kind of internal voice is that. And I think that like a dream could also be considered a mind's voice as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I definitely got was thinking a lot in Chinglish. And so yeah, I've had a similar kind of experience where, but most for me mostly it was mostly like what it was like just words and phrases, or it
Mhm.
is, I guess it still exists to some degree. It's not like full sentences as much because but I'm also just not very I'm not like a fluent Chinese speaker or anything like that.
Mhm. like there's certain words like in different languages that I can't like. I think of those like that noun or
Yeah.
thing in the foreign language because it works better, it fits better, it captures the idea or the essence of the thing better than
Yeah.
English does.
Definitely. I've had that experience. Probably my favorite word in that vein is
Pour
there's a
oil.
Chinese word which means basically if you were to translate it directly into English, it would be something like troublesome. It means like something's like difficult or arduous, but like not, yeah, I guess arduous is a good word for it, but it's mafan. It's just like a very simple way, but it's like troublesome. Like it's a, like if I have to go across town to pay my electric bill, it's mafan to do so, right? It's troublesome. And so like, like words like that, phrases like that, right? The same way you're just describing, it's like a vocabulary that's like, yep, this is the way that I now think about the world. Which is one of the values of like learning another language is see, because you
Yeah.
like language changes the way you see the world, right? It's not just and it just changes the way you describe things, right? They've like if your language, for instance, doesn't have a word for a color, you can't see that color. And so I think that's cool. And like that, and that's interesting to think about like the mind of the player, of the character. I do the sending as out loud in my books, so that way, because then you can't secret sending when you're around people. So it's like much more of a practical
Yeah.
concern, I suppose, than a non-practical one. And I like it when other people are like, whoa, like why did this person next to me just suddenly start talking to someone else? It's because I just got a message, or whatever. But that's just the way it works in my world. That doesn't have to be the way it works in everybody else's or anything.
The way that we play it, which is it's just become a meme at this point, is like when anyone gets a sentence, they immediately just like deadpan stare and just like look out into the distance, and like so everyone knows like the look when they get sent. Again, if someone wants to be subtle about it, then they have to do a sort of stealth check or or a
I would say
concentration check.
performance.
Yeah,
Performance
it's
might
like
work.
yeah, so like depending on what the character does and the way that they do it, like essentially it's just a check to in with your associated skill set and flavor to hide that you got the sending. Otherwise, you got the deadpan stare,
For sure.
which I feel is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that discussion. That actually is something that I think I might like personally just like pull through with, because that's something that I kind of thought about a little bit, but not quite extensively, but something I would want to develop further. Kind of just like D&D and how can we use mechanics to D&D game mechanics to just demonstrate real life phenomena in ways that real life phenomena is not able to do, because we can't telepathically communicate with one another. We can't detect thoughts and all that stuff. Like there's like a spell where literally you pull this, it's a cantrip. You just pull a little thread of memory from your brain as you remember it, as you felt during it, and someone casts detect thoughts and just is able to experience that memory as you did. So I love that shit.
Yeah. There's definitely like a lot of narrative possibilities rooted in all that kind of magic and jazz and stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the new game Cyberpunk, actually, what you were just describing, because one of the big parts of Cyberpunk is they have these brain dances where it's like you replay somebody's memory, but it's like kind of like a camcorder, and so it's like, and you can like focus on different frequencies, like thermal or like sound, or you're gonna focus on certain sounds or stuff like that. And so that's like an instance of like a game which really heavily uses like that kind of thing to like, and part of its gameplay to try so that like get you to like really see things from someone else's perspective, in order to like, and it's it's always used in kind of this a little bit of a hammy kind of I guess I'd say like it's a very like utilitarian, like, oh well, we need to figure out X thing about how so and so died, so we're gonna look at their memory to try to investigate it, like very like that kind of thing, right? Not just like, oh, I'm experiencing this other person's experiences for the sake of experiencing them, but it's still a pretty cool game mechanic.
Agreed.
We kind of did that when we had the mushroom people.
That was fun.
when in
If
our
we wanted
campaign,
to-
it's for context for Leia and the audience, like the group was exploring like this city that was taken over by a lich, and then had since been like um how do you say it? They like the city had been taken over by a lich and now was deserted. It was just like undead town, right? But there was this like mystical mushroom that happened to like be in one of the
I
alchemy
love that
shops. Like it
one.
had just gotten like imported in right when the attack happened, and it ended up like because now there's no people, it multiplied and like it's a sentient like plant creature. And they met it, and like they met all these little like basically mushroom people who have no eyes and just kind of stumble around, and they brought them to the leader, and then I just narrated probably like a good, I don't know, 5 to 10 minute scene where like they connected like in this like kind of out of body experience with the mushroom, who then showed them its life story, but without any words, just by like showing it its memories of being like in this jungle and then being taken from the jungle, being brought over in a dark ship, and then suddenly finding itself in this dark
That was
place, you
so
know.
much fun.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was probably one of my more creative moments as a DM. I was firing on all cylinders that day, I guess. But no, yeah, I like that kind of alternate possibility. I think that's worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. What's it called? Another thing that I was thinking about today in terms of Dungeons and Dragons is like ways that you can open the table to players joining in mid-campaign, because Eric, we did a lot of session 0 stuff, which I felt was like super good, but then Kelly was also like, yeah, like I'm really glad we did this because I didn't get to do this last time. I didn't have a session 0, I just jumped in, and like I was also one of the players that wasn't in on the session 0, and I jumped in.
Yeah, for context, my campaign is we're starting a new campaign, and we did session 0 on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, continue. Sorry, I just wanted to people understand.
And like, while it took me about like a month and a half to maybe even 2 months to really like find how the character operated in the group. And so like, and I'm not saying that it's like anything that like the DM did wrong with that. It's just there's also that sort of like awkward sort of navigating that I feel like isn't quite there when you join in at the start, because there is some awkward navigating, but you're all awkwardly navigating together, whereas now there's the established sort of friendships and beats on the characters, and now you're just trying to get that in while also establishing your character in a way. So I'm not sure like what reflections we have on ways to integrate people into the party. I myself have a party that's 2 months into a campaign, and we're adding a new player. So I've also been thinking about this all week as well.
Yeah. Go ahead, Leia.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it entirely depends on the campaign, because there are definitely like some campaigns that I say, whoever is here at the start is who's here. If we drop players, we drop players. We're not adding anyone new. Because I'm going after a particular party dynamic, and bringing anyone in after session 0 becomes more difficult in that campaign. But like particularly if I'm doing a longer campaign and not something that's like somewhere between 2 and 6 or 8 sessions, right? Like if I'm going to do something longer than that, then I have various ways that I bring people in, and a lot of that comes down to what's happening and who my players are too. And where they find themselves, because in some cases in which like so if you're in the middle of a dungeon, sometimes it's much harder to bring someone in, whereas if you're like in the middle of a city, it's much easier. Or if there is just like they were looking for someone to do a thing anyway, like you can just kind of slot them in to do that. But I think it's so contextual for me.
Yep. What about you, Eric?
Yeah. Well, I agree definitely with the context that that Leia was describing there, where it's like, you really, you want them to, you want it to feel natural, like as like a fit, when like they get in. I think the easiest way is right to have the new NPC have something that the party needs, or be able to offer some sort of service that the party like it requires, like in that moment. Like it's like, like, oh, they know the way to this secret place, and or they have something like that can help a lot. That kind of can be nice, though you don't want to make it something like you don't want to make it something like where like once they've done that, they won't want that person around anymore. Though in my experience, players are good at being like, well, obviously this person's part of the party now. We're at the table together. You know,
Right.
maybe I'll play act a little like you're weird, like you're new, but I'm not going to like, you know, insist like your character now has to leave. You're not one of us or something like that. That would
Right.
be really weird. If somebody tried to do that, I could have put a kibosh on that pretty fast.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to like, for me, when I'm introducing a new player into the party, what's really useful in my experience has been just because I run I think I have a particular kind of flavor that our campaigns generally are, and it's for me, fortunately, it's very easy to set up that flavor over like Facebook Messenger, over like a chat, like because that's the way things are gonna be, is kind of like the flavor that I can set up in that moment. And so like just setting up those expectations like kind of implicitly with the way that I'm like, well, here's how we're gonna have to make your character, you know, like blah blah blah. It's you know, like for me in the games that I run, right, I like you experienced this when you joined, like you know, you weren't just like, well, I'm gonna play an artificer half elf and we're, you know, and I'm suddenly there in the party. Right, I was like, okay, well, your character needs to be of this world, so we have to think about, okay, well, they're, you know, where there's all these cities, like which one they're from. Okay, they're gonna be from the metal city. Okay, well, why would your character care about the party? Like, okay, well, let's set up that, you know, like really making the character be involved as like a character. And because I do that in the pre thing, then that affects how the actual sessions go, I feel. And so that is helpful. Like, you know, I did a lot of stuff with Kelly, Kelly G, well,
Yeah.
but which was like setting up her character with who was like this elf, and like who the group had already kind of been around these elves. So then I like had to give them a crash course like all the things with the elves, because they, in theory, they know more about the elves than the characters who just spent a bunch of time with the elves
Yeah.
do, but they haven't actually spent that time in the session. So I was like, that was interesting. But I don't know. I feel like I just rambled. I don't know if I said anything
Yeah.
meaningful there.
No, I
So-
think. Oh, go ahead.
I have a question, Eric. Does Casey know about things that me and you have discussed about your campaign, the new one?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, but I don't want to say that. Then I won't talk about the thing that I would have talked about.
If you want,
Continue
Wait,
I
on.
will.
Was it the psionic powers thing?
No, it is.
I
It
am going.
is.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm
How
going
you
to
bring in
deafen.
people for various types of activities in games.
I
I
am
think
going
Casey's
to.
can mute us or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna deafen so that you can, and then just like wave your hands when you're ready
Okay,
to go.
okay.
Sounds
It's not really major spoilers whatsoever, but it's something that
It
I
was
wasn't
just
ready to share
enough.
with you guys
Yeah.
yet. So, but yeah, actually, one thing that came up in session 0, I guess that we can wrap up for
Mhm.
this one is items,
Yeah.
because this is an
Yeah.
interesting thing I'm doing in the campaign. So everyone in my next campaign is starting off as they're like the hook for the campaign is that they are all slaves and they're being transported from one city state to another, and they're going like there's gonna be like a sandworm attack in the middle of the desert, and they're gonna break free. Like, and then that's the start of the campaign. That's like why all the characters are together. And so
I'm interjecting because like as a spellcaster, it's just funny because also in the world like so I am admittedly making the metagame decision that like do I get a shield, which is something that is harder to acquire, or do I get my spellcasting focus? So like do I not do any of the things that my character is like mechanically made to do for the first session or two? Or do I get a defensive thing that like typically comes in starting equipment, but I know will be a lot harder to find than a druidic focus, which I could make.
Yeah. So
Which
yeah,
is cool,
so for
but-
context for what Casey was just saying, is I'm having them pick one item that they'll pick off a guard as they're like running away. So like but the point is that this is like a world of scarcity. So like the players have like even finding like regular leather armor will be like, wow, it's regular leather armor, right? As opposed to, yeah, I started with that. And it's funny to see the players react and like be like, oh my gosh, I have to pick. Do I pick like a weapon? Do I pick armor? Do I pick like what's gonna be my one thing? And I like that decision making. Like you'll eventually get everything that you need, right? I don't want to keep you like in the lurch for too long, but I love like starting out like that where it's just like, oh man, I guess we don't have much of a say, or like you don't have like a bunch of stuff at the start of the campaign. Have you guys ever done anything like that with equipment?
I have not.
So I have played in games like that. I don't joy of needing to track that stuff for players or having to be aware of it as a DM, and so I generally run games that are just like particularly if I'm doing a campaign. Now one shots are a little different, or like short stinted campaigns are different, but like for long form campaigns, I generally run overpower. So generally higher level, more cool stuff, very high magic worlds. I like it more when it's one shot or like very short amount of time kind of mini campaigns, because then it's like there's a clip to it, there's a purpose for it. Where in the longer campaigns it gets more arduous to have to do that for me personally, but I like as a player that can actually be fun, because then you have to like work around and think about things, and it's just a more limited scope of anticipating problems, I think, for me. Because in high magic, high powered worlds, I have more flexibility in the world where if players do something kind of off the wall and it's like really low resource kind of space, and then they end up like, I don't know, wasting a bunch of resources by accident, then I feel like I have less flexibility to get them to a place that's actually going to be fun, where they're not just TPK'd all the time. But that's just I think that's just part of my style. So
yeah, that makes sense. I think I have more of a scarcity kind of style. Like, like for me, like if you were like, okay, we need to find some powerful spellcaster to do X for us. Like in my world, well, you're gonna have a hard time doing that. Not that it's impossible, but that's a quest then, right? Like to get that going, and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, it is almost 5, and I know.
Yeah, we have to.
Casey and I have a meeting like right after this, so I wouldn't mind a break before that.
I was gonna say, yeah, let's adjourn. I'm gonna use the bathroom and then like up my iced tea.
All
But
right.
yeah, it was fun playing. So
Yeah.
I guess no D&DMs next week, but we'll be back on the 30th.
All right.
woo! Oh my gosh, we only have
Bye.
one more game in 2020.
And it's gonna be fighting slimes!
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Thank you, Casey, for